Dwayne Hates is our referee and ACC crew to preside over this Rose Bowl game as the Lion captains come out for the coin toss. Brian Guy, number 72, the veteran of that offensive line. See number 73, Zach Bannerkirk.
Yeah, CSC Juju Smith-Schuster replacing Max Brown as one of the captains today as the fourth captain for the Trojans.
Max Brown was the backup quarterback who's transferred to Pitt. So Dwayne Haight for the coin toss this afternoon.
Gentlemen, congratulations on your selection to the 103rd playing of the Rose Bowl game. My name is Dwayne Haight, and this is Jim Eckel of the Atlantic Coast Conference. It is my honor to introduce today's dignitaries. First, the president of the Tournament of Roses, Mr. Brad Ratliff. He will be presenting today's coins. Next, the Grand Marshals of the Tournament of Roses. We have three great Olympians. First, Janet Evans. Allison Felix. Greg Louganis. Mr. Ratliff, the coin, please. Thank you. Today's coin features the logos from both teams. On one side, the logo for the University of Southern California Trojans. And the other side, the logo for the Penn State Nittany Lions. The winner of the toss will be determined by whichever team's logo is face up on the ground after the toss. Ms. Evans, would you do us the honor? Penn State, you won the toss. What is your selection? You would like to receive. Southern California, which way do you want to kick? Let's turn our bodies back this way. To start the first half.
So the Lions say, we want the football.
That's what happens when you end the year the way they did.
And let's hear from James Franklin with Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. Coach, two teams that haven't lost since the end of September. If you're successful today, what will the difference be?
I'm not concerned about what the end result will be or rankings or any of those types of things. I'm just concerned about playing well today, representing Penn State the right way. Really proud of these kids and these coaches.
Good luck today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Let's go across to Sam.
Well, Coach, your team has already shown they can overcome a lot of adversity, but what do you think will be the biggest challenge they face from this Penn State team today?
Oh, stopping a high potent offense with a great quarterback and a terrific running back in Barkley. Our defense has got a major obstacle today.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Time to get to it, Chris.
It is indeed, Samantha. Clay Helton hired by Pat Hayden just at the end of last season. So his first full year as head coach, he's gotten the Trojans here. And there is Sam Darnold. Besides the physical gifts you talked about, Kurt, his poise, incredible. He's a prodigy, both physically and I think emotionally as a QB.
Especially as young as he is.
So Saquon Barkley and the Lions offense eager to get on the field. Matt Boermeister, the junior from San Diego, the lefty, will boot it away for Penn State. There is Dory Jackson. We'll see him out covering Penn State receivers. We'll see him on offense, and of course as a dangerous returner. The Lions have a freshman, a true freshman, Miles Sanders, back deep. Here we go. Penn State and SC, 103rd Rose Bowl. Meister tucks it into the corner. Sanders slips and will try to track it down. Dangerously bouncing around inside the 5, and it's covered at the 3. So the Lions dodge a disaster, but we'll start with awful field position.
Yeah, he misjudges his football, and because of the awkward spin and rotation on the ball, it was like a wedge. It bounced away from him. I don't know if he slipped a bit there at the end, but I think he just misjudged the ball. As I said, the ball had a kind of a funky rotation on it, like a backspin.
Funky kicker.
Yeah, exactly. But he's very fortunate to get on top of the ball, but the Lions start their first possession inside their own 5-yard line.
Well, Meister does his job, and now McSorley lined up in the end zone. The Lions' very first play. Play action. Takes a deep shot. Receiver breaks it off, and it's intercepted on the far side by Iman Marshall. So miscommunication and an instant break for the Trojans.
How ironic, Chris. You and I and our crew talking to Clancy Pendergrass yesterday, the defensive coordinator from SC, and he said, I've never worked so hard in 3 weeks with a secondary on trying to deal with the deep ball. Miscommunication, the outcut by Tompkins, who's in there because Blacknall's been suspended, cuts off the route. McSorley's expecting him to go deep, and there's Marshall, who's worked with the rest of these DBs to locate the football on the deep ball and go up and find it. He did exactly what they've been trained to do for these last 3 weeks on the first play of the game.
Talked about how McSorley's avoided interceptions, only 2 in the win streak. 3rd on the season for Marshall, and now Justin Davis lined up as the tailback to the right of Darnold, goes in motion. Darnold flips it over the middle, incomplete. It was a high throw intended for Deontay Burnett. Plenty of adrenaline with the quarterback in the early stages.
Absolutely. What a great opportunity with great field position. Sam Darnold, look at him, 6'4", 225 pounds. Brings a lot to the table as a quarterback. Creativity. He will scramble, make plays happen. You'll see the arm talent and that it factor. His players believe in him from the very first time he became the starter in Salt Lake. They believe that he'll make right decisions and give him a chance to win.
It's Justin Davis, the tailback in the pistol formation, and a youngster who's now healthy after being nagged by an ankle injury much of the season. Finally 100%, a short gain.
This Penn State defense has been tested this year through a lot of injuries, most notably to the linebackers. Jason Kabinda, Brandon Bell missed some football. That's where they really had a difficult loss in Ann Arbor. They have grown since they have come back to the Ohio State game. So much talk about McSorley in the offense in this winning streak. The defense has been playing lights out as well.
Trojans an excellent 3rd down offense all year. They need 8. Lions bring some pressure. Darnold gets protection, but misfires. That's a low throw skip in front of Smith-Schuster. And after the interception, Trojans go 3 and out.
And we're seeing some guys slip already. Smith-Schuster at the top of his route there slipped, lost his footing, and I don't know if it would have impacted him or not. One thing Penn State does a nice job there, they don't get the pressure, they don't necessarily get the sack, but because they brought the blitz, I think it hurried Sam Darnold there, forced his throw a little bit early.
So a long field goal attempt from Bormeister. It's going to be longer than any he's made this year. His career long is 54. This is from 51 for the early lead. Low boot. Missed it. So Penn State's defense rises up, and the Trojans come up empty after the interception of the Lions' first play.
That's a big stop by the Penn State defense. They catch a break, and not only McSorley, but I think DeAndre Tompkins, who looked like he ran a wrong route, has got to be very happy with getting the ball back. And a bit early here, maybe some jitters from both sides.
Shades of what we saw in the Fiesta Bowl, the semifinal, when Ohio State made the early interception and then missed the field goal, couldn't cash in against Clemson. So the Lions, their second possession begins 30 yards closer to the end zone than their first at the 33.
It's a win, right?
Yeah.
After all that.
You feel good as a quarterback when your mistake doesn't come back to haunt your team, right? This is Barkley. Gets the edge and gets a first down out across the 45 to Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, great point about the fitting at the field condition that at the Fiesta. You could see already players trying to scuff their feet in, dig into this turf. Large chunks of grass have already come up. We're not even 2 minutes into this ball game, so that should be something to really keep an eye on. Pristine field, but slick in the early going.
It's a late drizzle earlier today. Damp, cool conditions. Barkley's footing, though, has been terrific, and now Saquon takes off and tries the left side. Another big run.
He follows Chaz Wright, the right tackle, who's coming around, but it's really the left side that opens it up. Watch how the hole opens up on this left side. Plenty of room for the tackle to come around here. In fact, Wright didn't have anybody to pick up. So the play before that, they bounced it to the outside. SC did not set the edge. They come right back now with an inside play, and he's able to get yards inside and outside. That starts to get the safety's attention, and that's when Penn State can go back to the play-action pass and trying to attack SC downfield.
Back-to-back 12-yard gains for Barkley. He's got it again. Short gain on the left side. See these running backs who get freshened up when they have a few weeks off. He was banged up at the end of the season, but Saquon says he feels great today.
No doubt about it, he should. Here's our LA impact players today. Start with Barkley because how he sets the tone. Godwin will be the guy they'll try to go downfield. Michael Hutchings from SC, number 19, kind of the quarterback of that defense, and Adoree Jackson, one of the top cover corners. He'll be usually on Godwin at the top.
From the pocket on 2nd and 7, an off target throw and a pick by Adoree Jackson. So 2 early picks from McSorley, who went 8 games with 2 picks, and the Trojans are set up near midfield.
Yeah, he has a matchup that he wants, but Tompkins again involved in the interception. And you wonder if just by missing the route by a yard. Now Tompkins has played a lot of football, but this time he and the quarterback McSorley not on the same page. Because of that, the ball goes up in the air.
And Adoree Jackson, the winner of the Thorpe Award, is the top DB with his 5th pick of the season. Now that's a Penn State football. Look at the field judge trying to get it back, and Jackson wants to present it to his head coach. So they do.
So there you go. There you go. Give him a hug.
And now give it back.
That's pretty cool.
The Trojans with their footballs set up at the 49 after the 2nd interception already. And this is Ronald Jones, who's wearing number 4, not his usual number 25, to honor the late Joe McKnight, the former Trojan who played in this game against Penn State, but was shot and killed tragically in a road rage incident last month. His way of honoring McKnight. And we'll keep a close eye on this guy. He has been red hot the second half of the season.
Yeah, very, very explosive. Over 1,000 yards, 6.5 yards a carry. Penn State holding up here early in this game against that run game.
No gain on that one, and now Darnold from the pocket looks right side, and again some miscommunication and some poor footing.
Christian Campbell, Penn State rotates a lot of bodies in the corner, and right now Campbell is in there, the junior out of Phoenix City, Alabama, does a nice job there. Fans wanted a pass interference possibly. Their feet got caught up. No call.
So again, Penn State's defense trying to rise up following a turnover, and the Trojans need 10 on this 3rd down. Justin Davis motions out. Darnold chased, flushed, and fires. Complete. Smith-Schuster's got it, and a 1st down inside the 30.
It's exactly what we showed in the open, and when he scrambles on 3rd down. Penn State rushed 3, dropped 8 into coverage. It's very hard to be able to find that opening, but you see up in the top right, great job by Juju Smith-Schuster just sitting down. He's used to the quarterback creating and buying time. He looks around left and right, finds that opening, sits down, and they convert for the 1st down.
Well, they got 25 on 3rd and 10. Now play action on 1st down. This is Deontay Burnett caught up in traffic and spun down for a loss by Malik Golden, the safety. Chick-fil-A impact players on this side now.
A lot of them to choose from. You got to only pick 2 from that USC offense. There's so many playmakers. Ronald Jones, who is wearing that number 4 because he's so explosive. Juju Smith-Schuster gets a lot of recognition, but number 1, Darius Rogers, a guy to watch, and Sickles and Kabenda, the leaders of this defense. Very, very impressed with him yesterday in our meeting, and they're kind of the intangible.
There goes Adoree Jackson in the game. The corner's already got a pick, plays offense as well, but Darnold over the middle, touchdown! Right over the middle to Deontay Burnett, and they do cash in the pick.
They felt they could attack the middle of the Penn State defense because of the safeties being split. Here he works to the middle. Nobody accounts for him. Darnold does a nice job of recognizing him, getting behind the linebackers, between the safeties, creates and then shows that arm strength. So the vision downfield, big opening in the middle, great recognition by Darnold, and a nice job of slipping out there by Barnett.
Burmeister for the PAT, and the 25th touchdown pass in this win streak for Donald. As the Trojans move it from midfield to the end zone, converting on a 3rd and long to set up the touchdown pass for Deontay Burnett. 7-zip Southern California.
Trophy and Taco Bell's $1 double stack tacos.
1923, the Rose Bowl was a horseshoe. Elmer, Looney, Gus Henderson and the Trojans took on Hugo Besnek and the Lions in the first Rose Bowl game played right here. Penn State took a week-long train trip. They got stuck in traffic. They were 15 minutes late arriving here. The two coaches almost got into it. Henderson accused Besnek of gamesmanship. Hugo said, "Take off those glasses, sir." They almost got in a pregame dust-up. The two coaches. Wow. Besnek was a crazy guy. He coached 3 different teams here in the Rose Bowl. He coached in Major League Baseball, the NFL, college basketball. Hugo Besnek.
Got to be the most experienced guy. One of the most experienced guys in here.
Burmeister to boot it away. Remember, the first kickoff was an adventure for Miles Sanders. This time he takes it a few yards deep, and the freshman will bring it out. Sidesteps a couple of men and gets across the 20. So Trace McSorley went 9 games with 2 picks. Kirky's thrown 2 in the first 5 plays.
Yeah, and this was a miscommunication with Tompkins. He throws deep. Tompkins cuts short. This time Tompkins again involved. Remember, Tompkins in for Blacknall, who's been suspended for this game. And you don't know if he ran his route a little bit longer, but again, it's not quite being on the same page with Trace McSorley.
Saeed Blacknall suspended along with Manny Bowen, a starting linebacker. Academics, but not an ineligibility, just a violation of team rules. So those 2 guys not here for the Lions, who begin their 3rd possession now. And McSorley with his first keeper runs into traffic. Tom?
Chris, after the 2 early interceptions from McSorley, interesting. The coaches gathered him and the receivers alongside the bench and said 10 seconds, 10 seconds. No one spoke for that period of time. They bowed their heads, then opened their eyes. Coaches said, there it is, it's gone, it's done, to try to wipe away the difficult beginning here to McSorley. We'll see if he's able to gain his composure, Chris.
Interesting tactic, Tom. Thank you. And 2nd down, McSorley still 0 for 3, Kirk.
Yeah, what's happening right now is USC is playing with 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers, 6 men in kind of that box area. And with Penn State's offensive style, they've got to be able to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football. SC's trying to take away the threat of that big pass play that Penn State's had so often and try to get them to be able to see if they can prove that they can run the ball against that 6-man front.
3rd down's been a nightmare for this offense, among the worst in the country. They need 10 yards, and McSorley's under immediate pressure. Flushed out, fires along the sidelines. It's incomplete. Janae Harris came on the blitz, and it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, they're very, very aggressive. They're going to bring a lot of people, whether it's linebackers or safeties. You see the linebackers are walked up, but here comes a blitz here, trying to create confusion. They feel that if they can get Penn State to 3rd and 7 or longer, Penn State will struggle. It's been a problem for them all year when they get to those situations with this style of offense. Penn State rather be on schedule, that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4. And if they are 3rd and long, it is really tough against SC.
Dangerous Jackson back as a punt returner, and the freshman Blake Gillikin kicks a low kick backspin. Not very long, but at least it doesn't allow number 2 a chance to hurt them with a return. USC will have the ball at the 43. Well, the Trojans begin with a thud, a dud down in Texas. That's Brown, who was the quarterback at a 52-6 loss to Alabama. Didn't score a touchdown against Stanford. They made the change in quarterback before Utah. Hadn't started that bad since 2001. But Darnold and the Trojans offense, the defense got stout, and they ran off a big win streak. And Darnold was the conference freshman of the year.
Think about being 1-3 with the pressure that SC faces every year to try to win a Pac-12 championship. And for them to be able to turn that and go on to win 8 straight, considering where the teams they beat and where they had to beat them, man, that's a heck of an accomplishment to get here to Pasadena.
From the pocket, Darnold delivers far side. Smith-Schuster will be wrestled out after about an 8-yard gain there by Jarvis Miller.
A lot of what Darnold will do is getting back in rhythm and getting the ball out of his hands pretty quickly. A lot of that short intermediate throws. When you see the bigger plays is when he usually steps up and creates, and his receivers see that he's scrambling and they start to improvise themselves. But most of their passing game is in rhythm for Darnold and his receivers, getting the ball out quickly.
And 2nd and 1. Jones, again, we're number 4 today, moves the 6 to the Penn State 45. Darnold is a very serious guy, is a perfectionist, but he's got that it factor. Even as a redshirt freshman, even when he barely had started games, he had the respect of the veterans on this team.
I think it's just how he carries himself. He has, I think, a belief in himself. You know, he was an outstanding high school point guard. I mean, an elite high school point guard in basketball, and I just think that he has a belief even when he wasn't starting.
Jones had to dodge heavy traffic in the backfield. It was quick penetration there, but the Lions defense, you know, against the run, they've been tough so far.
Brent Fry, as a defensive coordinator, believes in rotating a lot of different bodies up on that defensive line. They're very athletic, and I think Kevin Givens, the freshman, he's undersized but has the ability to shoot a gap, and that's what he was able to do there in that last play.
Darnold again so effective on the move, makes the Lions miss and scoots for a nice gain on 2nd down. It'll set up 3rd and very short.
You know, when he starts to, he's scrambling a lot to his right. Brandon Bell right here, what he's got to be able to do is force him back inside. Do not let him get outside of you. Force him back where there's blue jerseys. Instead, he bites on that fake to the inside. That gives him a chance to pick up 8 yards. When you've got an athletic quarterback, you can't let him do that to you. You've got to stay to the outside, leverage the football, and force him back to the inside when you have 2 or 3 other defenders.
His 3rd and medium is an area where Penn State's defense has struggled some this season. Trojans need 4. Darnold flips it high, and nice catch. Darius Rogers went up high to make the catch, and it's a 1st down in front of Grant Haley.
Well, the scouting report on Penn State is they blitz. They blitz a lot. They bring both of their inside linebackers, meaning Darnold has to get the ball out quickly. And you talk to Clay Helton and T. Martin, they'll tell you that Darius Rogers has probably been the most valuable player for them on the perimeter. Juju Smith-Schuster gets a lot of recognition, but number 1, the senior, has been workmanlike with a positive attitude all year.
Darnold on the move. Avoids the rush again and now fires on the sidelines. He throws fastballs. That's what the Trojan receivers would say. That was a good example, a good catch by Rogers there.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And the scrambling, you know, Penn State's had 3.5, 4 weeks to look at it on film and come up with a plan. And until you see it in person, you don't realize. It reminds me a little bit of a younger Andrew Luck when he was at Stanford, as far as his ability to get away from pressure, deceptively fast, but also strong. That time he used a stiff arm there to keep John Reed away.
That was a corner they got away from, right?
Yep.
Jones now has a convoy, but the Lions converge and drop him for a loss. Golden on the tackle.
And that time they do a better job of keeping the edge to the defense. A great effort that time on the outside by Buchholz was able to do that. Fight to the outside, keeping his outside arm free the best that he can. He's getting with a couple big offensive linemen, but he works hard. And look, here comes the rest of that Penn State defense, led by Golden, who comes in there for the tackle for the loss.
Sets up a 3rd and 12. Lions have been effective in invading the backfield all season long. Justin Davis is the back. Pressure. Darnold flushed again. They left Davis alone, though. Makes a man miss and dives for a 1st down near the 21.
I think Brandon Bell may have gotten lost here in coverage. There's a lot of man-to-man working across, but watch Bell 11. He steps up. When he steps up, nobody accounts for Davis slipping out of the backfield. So you got a lot of man-to-man coverage. There's him scrambling again, buying just enough time to find Davis, who's probably better as a receiver out of the backfield than Jones.
Pick up 14 on 3rd and 12. Play action from the pocket. Darnold dart across the middle. Receiver fell down on a flag. Smith-Schuster was caught up.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The junior corner, Christian Campbell.
Yeah, he wrapped him around his legs, it looked like. He's beaten to the inside. Great little stem to the outside, goes back to the inside, and he wraps up around his waist and brings him down. Great call by the official.
Just like the last drive when the Trojans found the end zone, it was a conversion, a big gain, and a 3rd and long to keep it a drive. Jackson is in the game now.
What a weapon he is down in this area.
It was interesting that he took the defensive bus out here for the team picture yesterday, rode back on the offensive bus. Said, hey guys, don't forget about me.
In the backfield now.
He's got it. Hit hard as he gets down inside the 5 as a ball carrier, as a pass catcher, and as a returner. He's as good as anybody that's ever played this game.
Well, Jabril Peppers got most of the attention nationally for being one of the probably the most versatile player in the country because he plays so many positions. You could make a very, very strong case for Adoree Jackson with his ability to lock people down as a corner, punt returner, and also getting involved in offense. Doesn't really take a backseat to Peppers or anybody else.
Fewer touches on offense, but he'd like to change that today. And as a returner, again, he just scares you to death. 2nd and goal. Darnold looks left, fires off the hands of Darius Rogers, almost intercepted. Grant Haley was in the neighborhood.
I thought Brandon Smith may have had a chance there. He just could not find the ball off the deflection. Great job of jumping the route by 15 Haley. He gets in there to get his hands on it right there. Boy, it looked like Brandon Smith just caught his eyes on the ball just a second too late, and it slipped through his fingers. And that's an interception for the Lions down deep in their own territory.
3rd and goal. Jackson in the game to the right of Darnold. Motions out. Quarterback, no chance to look that direction. Heavy pressure, just jumps and throws it at the feet of Rogers. Evan Schwan provided the pressure. 4th down.
You got to admire Penn State. This is who they are. They bring 7 this time. Bring the safety, bring the 2 inside linebackers. I mean, they're all coming right up the middle, right into the face. Darnold does a good job just somehow to avoid it, jump up in the air, and just sling the football.
You see both quarterbacks capable of improvisation. Now, was that a good decision there? He got away with it.
Pretty athletic move. I don't know if it was a great decision. At least he threw it low, so Penn State couldn't intercept it.
Burmeister, who missed earlier from 51. This is a 22-yard chip shot, and the Trojans march it 53 yards in 12 plays. January 9th in Tampa, Clemson, and Alabama. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, watching over the hard work and determination of blimp-worthy athletes for more than 60 years. Goodyear, proud sponsor of the Rose Bowl game.
Trace McSorley yet to complete a pass. 0 for 4 with 2 interceptions. You'll see Penn State try to establish that run game here.
Meister boots it deep, and Sanders this time will take a knee. Saquon Barkley, a couple of 12-yard runs. That's been the only thing that's been successful so far. But if you follow the Lions this season, you know that they're used to being behind and coming back from double digits. They did start out 2-2. They were taken behind the woodshed in the Big House by the Wolverines and basically are written off. Come back against Minnesota, beat Maryland, and this play that changed their season. The block by Mark Allen of the field goal. Grant Haley scoops it up and scores. That seemed to elevate their confidence. They went on to win 9 in a row and come from behind in Indy to beat the Badgers for the conference championship.
I think Joe Moorhead, who's there in the white, I think they also changed their offense and how they attacked with the deep ball in the running game.
Zone read. Barkley has to bounce it. McSorley, the quarterback out there, as a lead blocker. Picks up about 5.
McSorley, a high school safety. He's not afraid at all to get out there and mix it up. In fact, he was telling us yesterday a lot of teams, it's kind of a chip on his shoulder. A lot of teams offer him just as a safety. So he sees his running back getting out there. He's going to try to pick up a block there. He's not just going to olay it. He's looking to put somebody on their back.
He signed with Vanderbilt when James Franklin was the coach there. When Franklin took this job, he didn't feel good about staying in Nashville. Said, hey, coach, you need a quarterback? He said, yeah, come along to Happy Valley. Middle option look. He pitches it to Barkley. It's a little bit of a wrinkle in the Lions running game. He's been effective so far.
Well, it's a nice call when you have man-to-man. You can get the ball out to the edge on the perimeter against man-to-man. The corner's being run off. See those first 4 games where they're still trying to, new offense, new quarterback, trying to find an identity. and what they've done in these last 9 games.
It's been a problem area, though. They're one of the worst teams in the country at moving the chains on 3rd and short. We need a yard. High snap. McSorley retreats, and that was trouble from the start. Early pressure by Nwosu. It was the tight end Gesicki, but again, they have a lot of trouble on 3rd and short.
Yeah, they get a push up the middle. I mean, watch USC, what they do up front in the offensive line. Watch the center here, Gaia, just get pushed back into the backfield. You mentioned Nwosu coming there to the left, and all you can do is McSorley. They thought they might fool them on 3rd and short, get them to kind of bait them, and then dump it out to the tight end Gesicki, but unable to do it.
So the dangerous Jackson back to receive the punt from Gillikin. It's a good one. Jackson could have a chance here at the 15. Adoree Jackson gets a block on the edge. Look out! Jackson just nudged out of bounds by the punter Gillikin. There is a flag down, but this place just came alive as number 2 does what he does with the ball in his hands.
He gets out in the open. Hold your breath. Penn State pointing back as if it's going to be a push in the back. That's when he's standing right next to the flag. He's still by it.
Illegal block in the back. Number 1, receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
They flag Darius Rogers. This guy 4 punt returns in his career for touchdowns, 4 kickoff returns, and interception return. Nobody in the history has more than his 9. He's close to a 10th there, if not for the flag. 9 on offense. More than 600 receiving yards, better known as a defensive player. Again, the Thorpe Award winner to the best DB. And look at those numbers as a kick returner. Against Notre Dame this year, returned a kickoff, a punt, and also had a touchdown reception. On the sidelines now as the Trojans offense goes back to work. This is their first drive without real good field position, Kurt. They've run all but 4 plays so far in Penn State territory. Jones barging ahead for a nice first down game.
That's a really nice first down game. One of the first times we've seen SC get a good push there. Penn State determined to have that gap integrity, blitzing linebackers, trying to take away that running game. It's worked for them up to this point here in this first quarter.
And 2nd and 3. Jones has it again, and he'll have a first down. He's a speedy guy, a 4x100 relay team for USC in the spring. In the last 5 games, averaging almost 150 yards.
And really, when Justin Davis went down, he's a senior, and he and Jones early in the year were rotating back and forth. And when Davis had the ankle injury, it offered Jones an opportunity to just take over, and that's exactly what he did in the middle of the year.
Beat it to him again. You know, in 2 years, when he's hit 15 carries, the Trojans have never lost a game, and he's well on his way to a busy afternoon.
Yeah. They need balance. They need Jones and Davis involved. These last 5 games have been remarkable. And I think, you know, like a lot of great backs who are undersized, and he's 195 pounds, but he puts his foot in the ground and accelerates upfield. That's his strength. And for the most part, he's not been able to see a crease yet against this front from Penn State.
Darnold well protected in the pocket, stands and misfires over the middle, tried for Taylor McNamara, the tight end. They've had success now on these 3rd and 9 plays. What can the Lions defense do differently here?
What they have to do is contain number 14, because most of the success that SC has had is when he has stepped up in the pocket and then to his right. And Penn State knew that that was going to be a trouble spot and a challenge for them. So they've just got to execute better. They've got to squeeze that pocket and not allow him to create in any way here on this 3rd down if they want to stop him.
SC offense that's allowed only 11 sacks all season. Penn State had 39 of them coming into this game. Play clock at 3. Gotta hurry. Just got it off from the pocket, delivers complete, and that is the talented freshman tight end Daniel Imatorbhebhe, who began his career as a Florida Gator.
Well, the timing here is exceptional between the big tight end and the quarterback. because the ball is out. That's probably one of his strengths. That is great coverage there by Jordan Smith, but the ball is thrown away. Look at that ball. Clay Helton bragged to us yesterday saying he anticipates as well as any young quarterback that I've been around. And there it was.
Here's the reverse. Rodgers, a flea flicker. Back to Darnold, who flips it down short to Jalen Green. And Green in space. Still running. He would be the emergency quarterback today, but a brilliant receiver as well.
Came in as a quarterback, but an athlete. 6'1", 200 pounds out of Inglewood, California. And I think Penn State might have thought that they were setting this up for a toss back to go to Juju Smith, but he's got an entire convoy of guys in front of him. And then how about the movement? And once he gets out there, cutting back against the grain, 2 or 3 different Penn State defenders missing him.
Jackson in motion. Darnold looks that way. Now fires a low ball, incomplete. T. Martin, the play caller for us, he's having some fun now, Kirk.
He's got a lot of weapons to work with, especially when he brings number 2 into the game.
There's T. Martin, the former Tennessee quarterback who won a national championship for the Volunteers the year after Peyton Manning left. Really a bright future for him as well, coaching.
Yeah, a lot of people feel he is one of the bright young minds in the game and will very soon be a head coach himself.
Final 33 seconds of a first quarter dominated by USC. Darnold fires it incomplete. That was right off the hands of Burnett. So 3rd and long again.
So many teams around the country using the run-pass option where you give the quarterback a chance to evaluate the defense. And if they're disguising and they go to a look after the snap, if they're overcommitted to stopping the running game, you just toss it out to the receiver. Time Sam Darnold saw 2 of his receivers up to the top and felt that he had one of them could make the block and get the ball to the receiver, and Burnett that time just dropped the football. That would have been a nice gain.
Once again, Trojans face a 3rd and long. Nines defense in desperate need of a stop here. But Darnold throws a dart, incomplete. Smith-Schuster went up high. Again, good coverage there by Jordan Smith. It is 4th down.
I'll tell you, Penn State, they're doing a pretty good job in coverage. Jordan Smith's 2nd time. We saw him on the tight end. This time he's matched up, this time with a bigger receiver. Good move to the inside. Ball is thrown on the money. Just doesn't squeeze it.
Smith did a good job getting his hand out there to knock it loose. And here comes Bormeister. 1 of 2 so far. This from 43. And he's able to curl it through. So USC has 13 points. Penn State has run 11 plays in the first quarter with 21 seconds to go. Coming up after this ball game, the All-State Sugar Bowl. You're eager to see Auburn against Oklahoma. Game on ESPN and also on the Watch ESPN app. What's your take on Auburn Tigers and the Sooners?
I think Oklahoma, because of the balance with Baker Mayfield and 2 great backs and Pirine and Mixon, will put points up, even though Auburn will be one of the better defenses they have faced. And I think the same could be said about Auburn. I think that game has the makings of some points being put up by both sides. I think it could be a shootout. Petway being healthy is big. Sean White being healthy for Auburn.
If this one's going to be a shootout, Penn State's got to get the weapons out and firing here.
Again, McSorley now he's 0 for 5. Has not completed a pass yet. This first quarter is almost over. But as you said, they've been used to slow starts, whether it was the Big Ten championship game, the game against Michigan State at the end of the year, kind of sluggish in both of those games in the first half.
Bormeister has been very busy. Kicks it off for a 4th time, and Sanders just a half-yard in. Takes a knee. There's a flag down. They may have been offside covering this kickoff. Yes, they've gotten off to slow starts and come back, but this is the Rose Bowl game, Kirk. So take me inside in Trace McSorley's head as he goes back out, tries to get something going here.
Well, the offensive line is going to have to
Offside,
perform better.
Number 14, kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be tacked on from the 25 to the 30. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Excuse me, this offensive line, Kirk, has had some makeshift, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of injuries trying to protect this guy.
Yeah, and so far what's happened, a lot of this has been on third down. They've had so many different looks. USC gets any offense into third down, they can make it tough. Clancy Pendergrass, the defensive coordinator, a former coordinator up in the NFL where he had a lot of success. He has a reputation for being exotic and complex, like a lot of the great defensive minds in the college game. They get you to third down. It's tough. You got to be in those 3rd and 2 and 3s to have a chance.
It's a first down throw. It's complete far side to Chris Godwin. That offensive line is 3 freshmen and a sophomore, and then the senior graduate, the center, Brian Gaia.
Yeah, their left tackle spot alone, they've had 3 different season-ending injuries at that left tackle spot. They had to move Ryan Bates, who was playing at left guard, 52, out to left guard. So they've been mixing and matching all year long.
Finally, in the final play of the opening quarter, McSorley's first completion. But USC in charge here, 13-0 after 1 quarter in Pasadena.
Can I give it to you straight? That airline credit card you have?
Issues with footing. Well, right now you can see him behind me working on cleats specifically for wide receivers and DBs for obvious reasons. But Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Burnett getting new ones to try and get better footing out there, Chris.
Oh, thanks, Samantha. This is a very familiar field, SC. They played here in November against UCLA and beat the Bruins. McSorley continues to have a frustrating start. His pass just rejected at the line.
They walked both the linebackers, Hutchins and Smith, up inside, and then they ended up bringing them right up here. They walked up. See how they both eventually are going to get up in there, get a good push. Eventually it was the big linebacker, Hutchins, who's really come on. His senior year, only time to be able to become a starter. They moved him to that middle spot, and as we said earlier, he's become the real leader and the communicator to get everybody lined up and right.
They call him the defensive quarterback, and he got the hand up to bat it down, and again Penn State faces a 3rd down, needing 8. McSorley this time has great protection, fires over the middle and complete up near midfield to Chris Godwin. And finally, the Lions fans who tried to create a partial whiteout here, something to cheer about for the offense.
Yeah, he gets pressure from his right, and he just kind of sensed it. And he just, if you see him in a pocket, watch how he works himself back to the left. He sees the pressure coming, doesn't panic and get out of the pocket. That takes a good arm to go all the way back to his right and find one of his favorite targets, Godwin. That is a crucial 3rd down pickup for Penn State, considering how this game has felt here early.
That's the first real downfield completion from McSorley now, who's just 2 for 8. Barkley hesitated, tried to bounce it, and gets dropped for a 5-yard loss there by Porter Gustin.
So this is the challenge that Penn State is facing against this SC defensive front 7, is they're not getting a push. Watch the battle up front, especially over here on the right side. The true freshman, Connor McGovern. See how he's getting kind of a stalemate there against Green. Then they set the edge. Boy, right now SC is winning that battle at the line of scrimmage, making it hard to get into that rhythm that Penn State's used to getting into with the running of Barkley and the big play off the play action.
Gustin, that long-haired, looks like a kind of a Matthews brother out there, doesn't he? Flexing. McSorley chased, fires. Godwin's got it at the 45 of USC. So McSorley buying time and creating downfield.
And USC is not slowing down. This time they bring not only linebackers, they walk up a safety. Tell, number 7, he's also bringing it. They're coming after McSorley. How about the answer? Running away, buying time, and then eventually making that throw. We've got to make a few plays in the passing game with him creating to slow down that aggressive nature that SC is playing with here early.
2 passes to Godwin have moved the Lions into Penn State territory. Now Barkley, who's a terrific receiver, shakes free. When you average 15 yards a carry as a running back, you are a dangerous threat. Lions inside the 30 now.
They brought the linebacker Hutchins. Then it was just a matter of getting the ball to the outside. You got 3 different receivers to be able to make blocks. Here's the blitz. once you get it out there, now look up to the top of the screen. You've got the tight end, Gesicki. You got another receiver in Tompkins. Hamilton's out there. You got a man on a man, and you give the big tailback room to work.
McSorley, after a rugged start, the 2 early picks, now 4 of 5 on this drive. Andre Robinson is the back, spelling Barkley. He's got it, and he muscles forward for a nice gain.
The big fella Robinson, as you say, spells him. We'll also see Miles Sanders, a freshman, Mark Allen. They've got 4 backs that they believe in. And
that's enough spelling, though, because Barkley's back in the game.
Back in. We're down 13. 26 needs to get back in the game. But they do. They've got great depth in that position. But, yeah, you want to keep 26 on the field as much as you can.
And you saw his danger as a pass receiver. Lions again get up to the line, get a look, and then McSorley looks over at Moorhead. Joe Mo, they call him, the play caller. From the pocket, long throw behind Tompkins. Again, they tried to get it to number 3, but they're misfiring in that combination.
Yeah, he's not been able to really find Tompkins yet. But you got to love Joe Moorhead's system that he's brought to State College. Very, very different from anything that James Franklin has run as a head coach, whether it's at Vandy or State College with Penn State. They spread you out to be able to run the ball, and they look for those play-action passes downfield to a very good group of receivers.
Moorhead, first year at Penn State, he was the head coach at Fordham, ran a very successful offense there. I'm up with 6 yards on this 3rd down. Barkley with a quick burst. Saquon Barkley will score. And the Nittany Lions come alive. A 24-yard touchdown to cap a 70-yard drive.
A really good block by guy in the center in the middle. Watch this block, and then watch how he splits both of these safeties. Nice job in the middle there. Pushes the nose guard out, and the acceleration to be able to get upfield and split those safeties. He's not just a powerful back. He can walk, he can run away from you, and I think there was hesitation expecting play-action pass, and he snuck up on him with his speed.
17th rushing touchdown for the guy who almost quit football before his freshman year of high school. Dad said, you know, stick with it. Give it a try. I think you might have a future. Sometimes dads know best.
He's able to definitely pull away from those arm tackles.
It's a pooch kick. Not the regular kickoff man, Big Joey Julius, but Tyler Davis trying to keep it away from Adoree Jackson. Instead, Michael Pittman collects it, and he gets it out to the 42-yard line. So good field position for the Trojans. Taco Bell bringing the best of the regular season to the Rose Bowl. Presented by Northwestern Mutual, creating a Taco Bell student section, picking up the tab for students at the national championship game as well, so they can go there and root on their teams.
Sometimes Adoree Jackson on a return hurts you, and sometimes the threat of Adoree Jackson gives you the ball still to start your drive at your own 40-yard line.
Exactly. The pooch kickoff, not really effective, as the Trojans are set up at the 40, lead 6 points now. Darnold has it, fires across the middle. Burnett running free, down quickly inside the Penn State 30.
Yeah, right over the middle of that defense again. SC has found a lot of success, and it was an area that they felt that they could have success behind those linebackers. Receivers catch their attention, keeps the safety golden away, opens up the middle, and another great throw there by Darnold.
Playing with tempo after the 32-yard gain. Darnold rolls out, tosses it to the end zone, incomplete. Rodgers couldn't run it down.
He had him. Misdirection. This is the versatility that Darnold brings. He's not going to just perform from the pocket. He's comfortable there, but his athletic ability allows you to move him around, not just when it's, where he's scrambling. That's a designed boot. Rolls away. Penn State was beaten on the play. Got away that time from Apke. Just a little bit more air, and that's a touchdown.
Something that perhaps T. Martin will file away for a little bit later on in the game. There's a second down run. Davis busting loose, still running. Justin Davis down inside the 5. Christian Campbell saved the score, but the Trojans are threatening.
Look at the execution up front here by Fala and Mama, the left guard. Right now, SC in an aggressive mindset. Sam Darnold already has him up, clapping, ready to get the ball into his hands again. Great execution by the line there.
24 more yards. Davis again spins back and is knocked down. You see the difference when this guy finally gets back to 100% with that ankle.
Yeah, no doubt. He brings something, a different field. Look at the offensive line play. Look at the center, Fala, go up to be able to get Kabinda, the linebacker and leader of that defense. And he's a different running style from Ronald Jones, who's more of a one-cut upfield. There's a lot more bounce and wiggle to Justin Davis.
And as a senior playing his final game for the Trojans, would love to cap it with a touchdown here in the Rose Bowl. 2nd and goal. Darnold rolls, fires in the flat end. Burnett just walks in. Here comes a late flag in the end zone. So hold on. Did they call a pick?
It was a pick. It's just a matter if the official was. Sometimes they let those go. Let's see what they decide on this. It was clearly
interference. Offense, number 9, 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Smith-Schuster.
The play is designed to get the ball to exactly to Burnett, who went in motion and then came back. Keep an eye right here on number 9. You know, that it could go either way. It's a gray area. There's games that you and I have called where it doesn't get called. There's games that you and I use and you see it called.
Dave Kataya, rules expert. How did you see that play, Dave? Good call or not?
Well, what Kirk says is great. By rule, that's a good call because he's screening him off. He goes into him. He doesn't turn back to the ball. So it's correct. But what you guys are saying about inconsistent, it is.
It's a lot of times if the receiver, even though he's setting almost a screen, if he looks back to the quarterback and kind of puts his hands up in the air and at the same time gets in the way of the defender, you can get away with it.
Gray area is a good way to put it. It is definitely open to interpretation. Rub route, pick, whatever you want to call it. It nullifies the touchdown. It'll be 2nd and goal for USC way back on the 18. Actually, he did come on moments ago and say that it's a USC touchdown because the contact happened before the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. Watch number 80 where he is. Yeah, Burnett not at the line of scrimmage, Dave, so this touchdown stands.
Well, by rule, the ball has to.
There's a PAT from Burmeister. Go ahead, Dave.
The ball has to cross the line of scrimmage in order to have any kind of pass interference. Sure. That ball, if you look at the black line, which was close enough, did not cross the line, making that play legal. You cannot have any kind of pass interference unless the forward pass crosses the line.
I think that's what had Clay Helton so upset from the beginning. I think the play is designed to be able to catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage. So even if it is, we were talking about more, is it a screen, is it a pick? Whether or not they should have called that or not. I think Clay Helton from the very beginning that's why he's so fired up over there, is I think he felt that Burnett all along caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage, which completely nullifies any potential, as you said, pass interference on the offense.
So Ralph Pickett, the replay official, spots that. Darnold's 2nd touchdown pass caps a 60-yard 5-play drive at just 1:29 as the Trojans quickly answer the Lions score.
I think that's good. Not only an answer, but the way they did it. I mean, they really cranked up the attitude and the aggressive style in which they attacked. They were not only making big plays, but they were right back up to the line of scrimmage and showed a lot more tempo there. So they come up with 5 plays and a touchdown, but I think they sent a message at the same time to Penn State.
I wondered which of these talented SC playmakers would feature in this big game. Deontay Burnett already has 4 catches for 61 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He's been targeted 6 times and caught 4 of them. A busy Mr. Burmeister. A short kickoff will give Sanders a chance. He'll get out near the 28-yard line. So Penn State once again down 13 points. We know you'll join us Monday, January 9th, a week from tonight, from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. The championship game presented by AT&T. A rematch, Clemson and Alabama.
Big news today with Lane Kiffin mutually agreeing with Nick Saban to move on to his head coaching job at Florida Atlantic, giving Steve Sarkisian, the former USC head coach, the play calling duties in that national championship game. He's been an offensive kind of analyst And now he'll be not only his assistant coach, he'll be calling the plays against Clemson on Monday night.
Mutually agreed. McSorley from the pocket. Steps up, takes a downfield shot for Godwin. Blues got it, and he's still on his feet. And he's down near the 41-yard line.
Penn State is starting to find their own rhythm after the first 4 drives, 11 plays and 36 yards. The last time they had the ball was 9 plays and 70 yards. And they've been doing it by McSorley making plays. Good job of stepping up into the teeth of that defense where both the middle linebackers were coming. And it gives Godwin a chance to adjust well on the ball.
He got 29 yards. And now Barkley's loose again. Saquon Barkley says, just feed me. I got a good rhythm going.
Yeah, he's got a good rhythm when you're throwing, and then you can go back to him. I really think McSorley, with his throwing in the last drive early, starts to open things up for number 26. It's a little yin and yang between 9 and 26 in that backfield.
Till that carry, Barkley averaging 8.5 yards per carry. And Penn State feeling good about themselves, finally get something going, but then that short kickoff set SC up and boom, right down the field. And now you feel like this is developing into a shootout, but they need to keep having answers, don't they?
They sure do. Right? And the guy that's starting to make plays for him is their go-to guy, Chris Godwin, number 12, making a lot of plays. And it's this man-to-man coverage he's been seeing. Right now he's across from Adoree Jackson.
Junior from Delaware, top receiver during the season for Penn State with 50 catches. Trojans bring some pressure. McSorley rolls away from it and heaves a long ball to the end zone for Godwin. Touchdown! Right on cue. He beats Adoree Jackson. This was real close. We'll take another peek. But Penn State answers the answer.
Wow, that is impressive. Impressive by McSorley. His signature home run swing. Did Godwin get his feet down? Did he have possession of the ball? I don't know if SC, the officials want to look at this again or not. There's the right foot.
One foot got down, but had he secured the ball at that point, he's still kind of juggling it. The field judge obscures that view a little bit.
Let's hear about completing the process of the catch. The little initial juggle. I think, boy, it looked like he had.
You have to freeze this.
Watch the ball bobble initially, and then it's on his leg, and the left foot too tries to get down. So his right foot was in for sure.
But was that foot off the ground before he secured it?
Right foot's down when he's still kind of juggling the ball. It's one of those. Is there anything that you can see there to turn this call on the field around?
We'll bring in Dave Kataya again.
Dave, I don't know if there's anything that you can say that you can turn the call from what they've called on the field.
Well, I'm agreeing with you, Kirk, because does he juggle it a little bit here? But you've got to be 100% sure that he still that he doesn't have possession when that first foot inbounds comes down.
The left foot clearly is on the line, so it's all about the right foot here.
Absolutely correct. And I just don't see enough there to change the call on the field.
This is one of those deals where
At the review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
not confirmed, but stands. I think that's a different standard than the NFL, clearly.
And if they call it incomplete, it probably would have stood being called incomplete. I don't think there's anything you can see on that video that you can change.
There's no question it would have stayed as an incomplete if that's what was called.
Yeah.
So Chris Godwin and McSorley, a strong combo as Penn State moves right down the field in 1:36. 71 yards and 4 plays, and now we got a shootout that we've been expecting.
Yeah, we've seen Sam Darnold make some plays, creating, and now we're starting to see McSorley do the exact same thing. He gets pressure from Nwosu out here to the outside, but he does a good job breaking contain. And look at Godwin against Adoree Jackson. We actually just talked about him before the play, that Jackson had moved over across from him, because you start to see Godwin make plays. And Adoree Jackson loses his footing. Right now, see right there, and that's when McSorley recognized him and put the ball up, and Godwin does a good job of getting behind Jackson.
had a chance to make a clean catch. As it was, he made it an adventurous one, and SC fans will still not be convinced that he controlled that ball. And here is the home run swing we've seen so much of the second half of the season. Just to feel good. Remember, he had 2 interceptions his first 2 pass attempts and couldn't get anything going, but now we're seeing why number 9 has been such a force the second half of the season.
It's smart to look up number 12. Now at 6'1", 205 pounds. He is the matchup concern for the SC defense.
You say forget about the pooch kick. He booted deep. Jackson fields it and takes a knee. So these 2 quarterbacks, slightly different styles, but both showing the skill set.
Yeah, and especially on 3rd down, we've seen Darnold have a lot of success doing this. This time, Juju Smith on zone coverage just kind of sat down, recognized that. This time he's going to step up. Look at the middle of the field. Sees it. Does such a good job when he scrambles of keeping his eyes downfield. This time it was a touchdown early in the game to Burnett. Penn State, the big thing about defending Sam Darnold is you've got to do a good job of keeping him contained and squeezing him in the pocket, not allowing him to create.
Got a 2-back look for the first time. He handed it to Ronald Jones, or Rojo as they call him, and he's slammed down after a short gain. Trojans drive chart. Missed that field goal following the quick interception, but
pretty good.
2 touchdowns sandwiched around 2 field goals.
Pretty consistent.
They've been very efficient with their 207 yards so far. Second and 8, a slant and a catch by Rodgers, and they move the chains out near the 40 in front of Grant Haley.
The motion that time by Ronald Jones moves Bell out. See Bell moves out. Look at that passing lane, an easy throw. Once Darius Rodgers gets to the inside, but the play is set up by the formation and the motion by Ronald Jones to clear out the linebacker. Well-designed play there by T. Martin and Clay Helton.
Darnold on the move again, flips it downfield. Smith-Schuster comes back and makes a leaping catch at the 26. This dude can pitch it on the move, can't he?
He sure can. That's such great versatility. It's a play action away from this side of the football. That's why the safety, Golden, is so slow in getting over. His eyes were in the backfield. And Smith-Schuster sneaks behind the corner that time, Campbell.
Look at this formation. There were 4 Trojans bunched out to the left, and Burnett collects it and scoots down near the 20. It motioned Jones up to that side.
They're back into that aggressive mode.
I'd say so.
Attack, attack, attack. Not only attacking, but giving him a lot of different personnel groupings, using Adoree Jackson a lot here in this first half.
What did Clay Helton tell his staff? Drive it like you stole it. You don't often get a stolen car analogy, but he wants them to be fast, aggressive, and elusive. I guess that's what he's saying. Haven't been many flags so far. That's a false start for the Trojans.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Clay's a Southerner. Is that an expression you've heard before? Drive it like you stole it.
No, I never heard of that one. You going to me with
they know
twang?
They know what he means, evidently, and they're doing whatever he wanted today.
It's working. That time his center on that last play thought the snap count was a little bit earlier and flinched, and that's what the 5-yard penalty was.
Dory's in the game again, motions across to the left side, gets some single coverage over there. They flip it to him, makes the catch. Jackson weaving through traffic, spinning down inside the 5.
You just want to get his hands on the ball. Little action away, gives the offensive lineman a chance to get out there. Wheeler and Mama watched it 51-72. A couple good blocks outside. Set up with a little bit of a play action look. Just get him in space and let number 2 go.
First and goal. They throw it that way again. Touchdown, Rodgers. And the Trojans offense absolutely on fire right now.
Yeah, this kid's had a huge year. 6'1", 215 pounds. The timing. Darnold gets the ball out the corner. I don't care who you are. Nobody had a chance to stop that back shoulder throw by Sam Darnold. This is timing. Just work on this over and over and over. And I don't even think, honestly, Grant Haley saw the ball thrown.
Rodgers 6'1" with some very long arms and very strong hands. The pylon cam gives you a good view. Darnold, Sharp, and these receivers, all of whom are from the local area. You got Compton and Long Beach coming together here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena and having a big afternoon. It's the Trojans up by 13 again, and a young quarterback and a receiving core. This is what it's supposed to look like at the Rose Bowl. Sun bursting through the low cloud ceiling. USC feels like this is where we belong, back here for the first time after a 7-year drought, and back in front for a third time by 13 points. 4 touchdowns in the last 5.5 minutes. Kirk, Penn State, you see your defense struggling, you feel like you better keep answering. TNT inside access, take you inside the tournament house, in the archive room, some of the special mementos of this game with unparalleled history in college football.
Spend any time there?
I'd love to. Construction of the stadium, we showed you that earlier.
Great tradition, great history.
Penn State, chance to write their own history. That was the message from Trace McSorley to his teammates before they took the field for warm-ups today. After a slow start, the Penn State offense is cooking now. 139 yards here in the second quarter. But they better keep scoring. Barkley, a short gain. Does it put extra pressure on an offense and a quarterback to know how badly your D is struggling?
I don't think so, because of this team has an awareness and a confidence to them that they can come back from being in a hole. They've done it this year and during this 8-game win streak.
No doubt about that. They feed off each other, offense and defense, as well as any team we've seen in recent years. But this is a defensive challenge, perhaps, that they haven't quite faced yet.
No, this SC defense is not only strong and fast, they're difficult to figure out.
McSorley keeps it.
I mean,
wrestled down by Nwusu.
Even that play right there is an example of how they can get off blocks. And we've seen McSorley this year run that play and very often come off that fake on the zone read and accelerate upfield for 8 or 10 or 12 yards for a first down. But Nwusu gets off that block and now he sets up this third down.
They need 4. Yeah, what I meant was a defensive challenge for Penn State that they haven't seen before. In other words, trying to make up deficit and stay even with the opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, the Trojans are flying up and down the field. They're showing pressure on third down, and McSorley has to retreat, delivers, and it's caught. Again, Godwin with a clutch catch. When
McSorley drops back at this stage of the game, that's the guy he's looking up. If he's feeling trouble or he's feeling pressure, he's going to look off to his right here for Godwin again. Remember, that's a little bit more of a zone look. It ends up being, a Dory Jackson matched up against Godwin, but he does a good job of locating and then coming back to the ball.
He's one of the big play receivers. He averages 16 yards a carry. That was a terrific hands catch and a crucial play to keep this drive going. Trace steps up and delivers wide open to Tompkins. This is the receiver asked to play a bigger role today with Saeed Blacknall suspended. Give him forward progress.
SC defenders ripping at that football. Obviously it came out. It's like Tell might have ripped that ball out after the whistle had already blown.
Harris thought he had a turnover instead. Barkley, short gain, another first down right about midfield. Penn State with 3:45 and counting to work with before halftime. The Trojans will get the ball to begin the second half, remember. One guy we haven't seen involved at all yet, Kirk, is the talented, rangy tight end, Mike Gesicki. 6'6" target at 47 catches this year. Trojans have shut him out so far. Instead, it's Godwin, the go-to guy, inside the 40.
Just keep going. You got to keep getting the football to him. And I think when you not only have success throwing the football to Godwin, I think it opens up bigger opportunities down the road to guys like Gesicki. This is not a one-man show. What makes Penn State so hard to defend is you have guys like Godwin and Gesicki and Hamilton, typically Blacknall, but with Blacknall out, Tompkins. You have 4 receivers and a tight end to complement the run game.
Barkley cannot escape. Terrific tackle there by Leon McQuay. And again, a reminder that Blacknall and Manny Bowen, the 2 Penn State players, suspended for this game, academic reasons.
McQuay comes a long way to make this play. Very aggressive safety play from USC. And if he's not there, coming all the way from the offensive left side, big, powerful Barkley's able to pick up at least 7 or 8 yards there.
Saquon was 76 yards rushing on his 12 carries. McSorley backpedals, fires into the bench. Makes a catch by one of the Trojan staff members on that side. But it's 3rd and 9.
That play is designed to get the ball over to the right. But boy, if he looks to the left, that was a broken coverage. And again, he had some pressure, but you have a receiver breaking here to the middle. It was SC just kind of lost Tompkins that time. Look at him breaking through the middle of that SC defense. Wow. SC very fortunate that they got pressure that time on McSorley. Or if he looks over the middle of the field, that was a touchdown for Penn State.
They need 9. You wonder if Franklin would go for it on 4th down here, given the way his defense is struggling. Not in field goal range. And that one somehow caught again by Godwin. It was way behind him. He reached back with one hand.
And not only that, how about the route was up beyond the first down marker. So not only him reaching around to catch this ball, but the recognition to know where to run that route. That's his 2nd big-time catch on this drive. See the route beyond the first down marker, catches it, gets forward progress, and gets the first down.
You're right. I don't care what you need. I don't care who's covering him. Throw it to 12 because he's catching everything in the world right now.
If it's 3rd down, I'm looking for number 12 in blue.
What a catch again to keep Penn State's march alive. Take a timeout.
Family holiday party, huh, Greg? At least with DirecTV from 8.
McGinnis there in the jacket. Ronnie Lott behind him. Lynn Swan, of course, athletic director now. On the left side of that picture, by the way, was Mark Sanchez, who had a 400-yard passing game, lit up Penn State. And the Trojans won here in their most recent visit. McSorley and the Lions with a first down after that great catch by Godwin. You see pressure is picked up. Quarterback keeps it and darts forward for about a 4-yard gain.
It's an outside play where you want to read that defensive end. If he collapses down on the quarterback, you give it to Barkley. If he chases Barkley, McSorley pulls it and cuts underneath it behind the pulling guard, and that's exactly what he was able to do there for some positive yards on 1st and 10. Kind of back into that balance, you know, that you're used to seeing from them. They've run the ball 16 times, and McSorley now has thrown it 18, which is kind of where they want to be. Keep the SC defense guessing on what might be coming next.
Barkley knocked down, and Penn State, an offense that struggled big time, among the worst in the country on 3rd down, has had a pretty good 3rd down afternoon. Of course, their greats represented by Kijana Carter, who was the MVP of the '94 Rose Bowl. It was an undefeated '94 season. Desmond Howard over there talking memories. Kijana took off for a touchdown run in Penn State's first play against the Ducks that day.
Yeah, I remember that.
This was an offense that was Gary Collins and Kijana and
Mike Archie, and Freddie Scott, Bobby Ingram, and well, they were loaded.
They hadn't been here since that 1923 loss to USC. They got off to a fast start. Folks hadn't even settled in yet. Kijana was off and running. Danny O'Neill had a big game. But the Lions came up with a couple of picks and won at 38-20.
It's one of the better offenses I can remember. Big Kyle Brady was on that team, the tight end.
If that team had been around in the playoff era, if the USC team that beat Penn State, we talked about Sanchez, they certainly would have been a playoff team.
Yeah. He's having a heck of a game. Is 45 Porter Gustin. He has been very active tonight for the SC defense. He's down at the bottom now.
On 3rd and 5, McSorley tries to escape, and he can't. Flags come in at the tackle by Stevie Tuikolobatu.
Yeah, it looked like a face mask. Looked like his hands got up high into the face of McSorley and grabbed a hold of that face mask. That'll be a first down for the Lions.
Big Stevie T, you call him, the senior graduate transfer from Utah.
He is a force in the middle of that defense. Stevie T coming over from Utah, where he didn't get a lot of reps for Kyle
foul.
Whittingham.
Face mask, defense, number 96. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
It's a costly mistake as Lions will set up at the 12, but Stevie T is a game wrecker, say the Penn State coaches.
First guy that they brought up, and every one of them, when we talked to them individually, they talked all about Stevie T in the middle and how their center, Brad Guy, the kind of the anchor and the leader of that group that's been beaten up with injuries, he's going to have a night. We've seen some good battles, one by Guy and then a few by Stevie T. It's been going back and forth.
For college football, those guys are grizzled old men.
Yeah.
Stevie T is about 25.
Yeah. Well, that was a big break for Penn State. See if they capitalize now down in the red zone.
Minute 7 at halftime. McSorley tries to get it to Barkley, has to backtrack to make the catch and look very hard just to make a short gain. Under duress immediately was the quarterback.
Yeah, and now that you're at a minute here before the half, he does a good job of even not only making a play, but just to be able to keep the play alive, to be able to get out of bounds. Stops the clock and preserves one of their 2 timeouts that they have remaining. Remember, Godwin has been a go-to guy. He is off to the right, and the Gesicki, who, Chris, you brought up, has not been able to get involved much, but he's a great target down in the red zone at 6'6". He's a matchup problem for SC, whether it's a linebacker or a safety.
Sorley flips it to the end zone. Right on cue. Looks for the big tight end. Kirk, good call. Touchdown, Lions.
The big fella is a matchup concern. It's 6'6". McQuay tries to pick him up. You know it's coming. He's 6'1". He tries to deal with the bigger tight end.
SC felt pretty good about covering this big guy in space, but it's a different deal with a jump ball, right?
Yeah, down inside that 10-yard line, he's a real weapon. Catches the ball, finishes the process of the catch. Elbow is down.
On the field.
That's a touchdown.
It's a catch for a touchdown. The previous play is under review.
He's definitely in. They'll see this one pretty quickly.
We'll take a peek. It's the ACC replay official Al Pickett with help from Greensboro, the conference office, but that is pretty clear.
Yeah.
And Penn State, a more time-consuming drive that time. Kirk took 5:22, 13 plays, 75 yards to again cut into this SC lead.
And with Godwin having such a fast start tonight, he was isolated one-on-one with Jackson to the same side, which created the matchup for Gesicki against the safety.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Conversation with Franklin and his tight end there. I don't know if he had an issue maybe with him taking off the helmet and doing a lap near the crowd, but in any case, his first catch was a huge one.
Little stutter, gives himself a chance off the play action look. Up high, great throw by McSorley to put it up into the air to the big tight end where he can go up and high point it.
You're seeing the resilience of this Penn State team that time and time again has fallen behind. They seem to be overmatched early at times, Kirk, but they just keep answering.
And they needed to answer here before the half with SC getting the ball. Here's the matchup that we've seen a lot of with Jackson on Godwin. But the play action and then the stutter creates the one-on-one matchup right here with Gesicki against the safety. Little stutter, then the separation. And McSorley, who knows he has to put the ball up in the air, does exactly that to give his tight end a chance. It's great execution by Penn State.
6 touchdowns in the first half, 3 for each team, 5 of them via the pass, and not that qualifies as a deep home run shot, but that is the signature celebration.
He'll take it. Gesicki, who's known as he played a lot of basketball in his day, also volleyball. He can get up.
See that tarp over there in the corner? That's where the guys will be set up for the halftime report. And take away that tarp, raise up the desk, and have some analysis of very exciting first half. Also see the USC and Penn State bands performing.
It's a big 54 seconds remaining in this half because Penn State won the toss and decided to take the ball, meaning that SC obviously will get the ball to start that third quarter. Penn State has fought back to get it to 27-21, and with the way Sam Darnold has been able to move the ball almost on every drive, the Penn State defense needs to step up here to keep him in this game.
Got to tackle Adoree Jackson first, who takes it at the 1. Spins free and is going to be knocked down across the 26. They'll have 46 seconds to work with. After this ball game is finished, it's off to the All-State Sugar Bowl in the Superdome. Auburn and Oklahoma, SEC versus Big 12, also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. Drive it like you stole it. Some folks checking in and say you guys should have heard that expression before. Well, we'll see if Clay Helton's aggressive mantra takes hold right here.
Well, they've had a couple quick drives. Penn State's been aggressive. Let's see if they go to prevent or continue to bring pressure.
And Darnold is going to roll out, keep his eyes downfield. This time he'll just run it out of bounds across the 25. Evan Schwan pressured him.
Yeah, we've not seen Schwan and Sickles do a really good job in the first half of getting after him. And when they have gotten in there, and they talked to us yesterday, Garrett Sickles telling us, and it's not a normal game where we just rush the quarterback. We've got to be very aware of his ability to scramble, but we've not seen them able to not only get to him, but bring him down or affect him much.
That's a good point. A dozen sacks between them. Nobody's got a sack today so far. And Darnold fires a dart. First down to the 40-yard line. It's Rodgers again.
Another example of that anticipation and the big arm and quick release. So impressive from Sam Darnold. That was good coverage again. Put the ball right on the money.
Don't spend a timeout. Clock running again inside of 30 seconds. And Darnold flips it off short to Burnett, who will slip down. And they'll spot him out of bounds with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, he slid out of bounds. It looked like his body may have landed in bounds, but his right foot slid to get him out of bounds to stop that clock.
Helton seemed to be checking about that. I thought they would have kept the clock running. It keeps a timeout for SC. They've still got a couple now. Darnold steps up again. This time takes off into Penn State territory, dives down at the 43.
SC will call their timeout, one of their 2 timeouts.
13 seconds to go. And they'll still have one to play with. And Burmeister is a pretty good long distance field goal kicker. We did see him miss earlier from 51, but he's got terrific range.
Penn State drops those linebackers so deep to take away the potential of those crossing routes that's what Sam Darnold recognized. Look into the linebackers. See how deep they are? He says, heck with this. I could maybe make one of them miss and try to pick up some yards. He actually makes both of them miss. That's the thing with Sam Darnold. He scrambles so often to throw because he sees the ball, the receivers downfield. You got to be aware that he'll pull it down and take off and get 15 or 20 on you in the blink of an eye.
Saw the junior lefty field goal kicker. Just a few more yards, they get within range of his career long of 54.
Got to tighten up coverage here, and if you're Sam Darnold with one timeout, the whole field is still in play. You don't have to work the sideline, the boundaries on either side. Darnold
has time and now escapes, fires incomplete. Just 7 seconds to go.
That is a heck of an effort by Penn State to just not give up on the play.
You mentioned Sickles, Kirk. He finally got in there.
Yep, he did. Sickles, and he told us yesterday, he said, you know, it's not just about the pass rush, it's about being relentless, never giving up on a play, because it play's going to be alive. If how long he's back there moving around, you got to keep working against that offensive tackle.
Lions run on some fresh pass rushers here. Darnold's got to be very aware of the clock as it ticks down. Rolls out, delivers along the sideline. Catch made with 2 seconds to go. Burmeister will have a field goal chance. This guy is a freshman, right? You're sure Darnold is a freshman quarterback? He didn't play somewhere else that we don't know about before he got here to USC?
He is in total control, isn't he? Wow. 7 seconds, no problem. I'm just going to roll to my right here and throw a seed low and away for my receiver to make a catch and give us still time to kick a field goal.
So this one from 49, and now Penn State's going to spend a timeout here. They did snap it and kick it. Franklin's wants to be convinced that was a good catch along the sideline. Let's take another peek.
The left foot is down. Does he complete the catch? Sure does.
Looks like he caught it cleanly.
Watch his left foot. Right there.
It was right in front of Franklin and the Lions. Good use of a timeout just to double check it.
It's a really good look there. Actually, looks like he may have both feet down.
This is a receiving core, Kirk, that would you say hasn't made a single misstep, a single mistake in the first half for SC. Been phenomenal.
Yeah, they have moved up and down.
And Darnold with 263 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. A chance to extend the lead to 9 before the break from 49. Burmeister has missed for a second time from distance. And the Lions, after being down 13 points 3 different times in the first half, trailed by only 6, although Darnold and that SC offense will get the football to begin the second half. 568 total offensive yards in this first half. Samantha?
Well, Coach, you're obviously moving the ball well offensively, but defensively, after a strong start now, what's your priority in terms of improvement?
Well, 2 quarterbacks playing really good football right now, and they're making some great deep ball catches, high ball in some plays, and I know 2 offenses that are playing well. We'll shore things up on defense at halftime.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach. Let's go over to Tom Rinaldi.
Sam, thanks a lot. You've come back from being down 6 times this season. What's the key to doing it this time, especially on the defensive end, Coach?
We hate first halves. We've hated them all year long. We're still in the game. We got to make them earn a little bit more on defense. Right now, their offensive line's doing a great job of protecting the quarterbacks, way too comfortable in the pocket. We got to continue to get our playmakers the ball. Trace has done some nice things early on. I thought he struggled a little bit.
I appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
They love second halves, though. They've outscored opponents 298 to 105 after halftime. 27-21 USC over Penn State. The Buick halftime report coming up right after these met. Penn State really got the passing game going, and we have the shootout you expected.
Yeah, I think you started to see Penn State able to kind of slow things down and let the game come back to them a little bit. Got their balance going after the slow start with a couple interceptions. Maybe a little shell-shocked just with the speed of the SC defense, but they've really done a good job of just settling in. And I think it started with McSorley creating, making a few big plays, some big touchdown to Godwin that really closed into that USC lead. But I think it's the combination, as I just said, with Saquon Barkley back there. He's got 76 yards in this first half. SC's defense has got to do a good job of containing him and slowing him down. One thing USC doesn't have to be concerned about is their own offense. Boy, they have done a masterful job of getting Sam Darnold in a position to make big plays in their passing game. In fact, really have not been slowed down at all.
It's a Penn State defense. It's gotten much better after halftime typically. What can they do to adjust and begin to make life more difficult for Sam Darnold? It looks so incredibly comfortable out there.
Yeah, they've got to get after him, and that's they've been trying to, but the offensive line from USC, along with Darnold's ability to improvise and buy time, that's been really what's done Penn State in. They've got to do a good job of maybe coming up with some different wrinkles. They've got to continue to pressure him. You can't let him sit back there with that arm strength and throw the ball.
Dory Jackson at the goal line. Shows that suddenness. Jackson hurdles a man, stiff arm. He's entertaining. He didn't take it to the house, but he makes it interesting.
Explosive.
Samantha?
Yeah, Chris, when Clay Helton was asked about his quarterback going into half, he simply said, wow. And I got a similar response out of former SC quarterback Mark Sanchez, who's been on the sideline. I asked him to describe for me what that it factor you've been talking about all game is. With Sam, he said he actually reminds me a lot of his quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, where nothing is too big for him. That even though he hasn't experienced the moment before, it's like no big deal. And I can tell you he's only said about 10 words on the sideline and yet has the full respect of his teammates. It's really impressive to watch.
Doesn't say a lot, but they listen when he talks. There's a first down handoff. Sam Darnold in the first half compared to Mark Sanchez, who threw for monster yards in the first half against Penn State back in that 2009 Rose Bowl.
But I think the difference is this kid's a freshman.
Yeah.
And there's just a feel to him. What Sam just described, there's Mark looking on along with Marcus Allen and some of the other great USC alums. What Sam's describing, I think, has everything to do with just the players believing in him. He doesn't have to say a lot.
Running game wasn't a big part of the first half for USC. And Ronald Jones again wearing number 4 today in honor of Joe McKnight. Slips down. It'll set up a third down play.
It was a great effort there by Kabenda, keeping the edge to the defense, forcing him back to the inside where he eventually lost his footing. Watch him slide outside. Does a good job getting off of the potential block there by Fala, the center.
Kabenda was born in Orange County, Southern California. Played high school football in Jersey. The commander of this defense.
Now let's see how Penn State does here on third downs of trying to get after him. We saw Darnold have a lot of success on some third and longs, keeping plays alive and finding open receivers. Penn State up tight.
Burnett comes in motion, and the ball thrown over his head. That time the Lions were all over number 80. Jordan Smith, a backup corner in coverage, and they force a
tell
punt.
you, Jordan Smith he's been out there on an island a number of times, and he's typically stride for stride with these receivers. Now Darnold's made some good throws and converted, but do not fault Jordan Smith. That time he read the eyes of the receiver, and when he looked up for the ball, he got his head turned around. Play really never had much of a chance.
Trojans have run 48 offensive plays and finally punt for the first time. Chris Tilby, the Aussie from Melbourne, out there, and a flag before the snap.
They had movement on the right side of that line.
False start. Offense. Number 6. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
True freshman receiver Michael Pittman. It's one of the few. We haven't seen a lot of miscues or mistakes by USC at all in that first half.
Very cleanly played half for sure. Penn State, very few penalties throughout the season. John Reed, one of the defensive backs, is the deep man. And Tilby sends a boomer that Reed will field at the 21 with the fair catch to Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. Talking to James Franklin on his way out of the locker room, he said he told his team, be comfortable. This is where we've been all season long. Defensively in particular, he said we have to make Sam Darnold uncomfortable. It isn't the run game, it's the pass game to get to him there. Offensively, he said, we've got to get the ball to our playmakers. Trace has settled down now. We found an offensive rhythm. But he said his most important message was, we can come back on this team. We can move the ball. You guys have done this all season long. We'll see how it manifests starting right now, Chris.
Well, they sure have. It creates belief when you come back time and again after halftime. Actually outscored in the first half of the season by 23 points.
Yeah, but when they have trailed the last 4 times at halftime, they have gone on to win those games. So what Tom is saying, you're saying, there is a belief that you're never out of a game.
It's Barkley trying to bounce it. And does escape. Saquon Barkley in the clear. Still going. Saquon Barkley all the way to the end zone. Electric, 79 yards.
I mean, this is Saquon Barkley in a nutshell in one play. Plays designed to go up into the middle of the USC defense, but he bounces the ball to the outside, and then you've got 2 defenders that have a chance to make a play. Plays designed to go to the inside. He shakes Tell, the safety. Another safety comes up, Harris. He misses him. Then he cuts all the way back against Chris Hawkins, and then shows you the speed to take it to the end zone.
After trailing by 13 points 3 different times, Penn State, a PAT by Tyler Davis away of taking the lead for the first time. A flag before the kick. When you do it again and again and again, it's hard for outsiders to understand the belief this team has that they can always continue to do this. But in one play, they grabbed the lead.
We're getting a preview of the faces of college football for the 2017 season today.
Illegal substitution. Defense. The penalties decline. We will have a try.
That's a great point.
With Sam Darnold from USC, 14 in white and 26 in blue. These guys are going to be the faces of the sport next year. They're going against each other the second day of January 17th.
Saquon, a true sophomore.
Yeah. Well, what a move by that young man.
Davis does give Penn State its first lead. And James Franklin says this is what we do. This is what Barkley does. We showed you the power earlier, the lower body strength. There's the moves, breaking some ankles and breaking off a 79-yarder. Keeping the appreciation of so many viewers. Lions have the lead for the first time. Saquon Barkley's touchdown run. He's had 4 touchdowns in the last 4 possessions for Penn State. It's a short kickoff by Pittman for the Trojans and tackled at the 26 as we welcome in Keith Jackson. This is your first Rose Bowl you've attended since that USC Texas Classic. What brought you back today, Keith?
First any game
Wow.
since '06.
You get a special feel for these 2 programs being in this great stage.
Well, I sort of had a feeling after the 56 years that was enough, so I went and sat down in the rocking chair and stayed there for 6 years.
It's great to have you.
I know you said that you get a feel for the Penn State program and the fact that they are here, a rare appearance.
Well, we did a lot of Big Ten games and a lot of Penn State games, and Penn State has, in my mind at least, they're a team that plays hard. They play hard in the final inning. And if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to tighten up your chin strap and go dig up.
And they've shown that grit and that resilience in another comeback here. Darnold incomplete on the slant on first down as the Trojans try to answer.
I'll tell you this, I think, too, looking at USC, I think they've got a chance next year to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country because they've got some real big-time talent.
Yeah.
When you see a team like this, and how many times we've seen them in the old Big Ten days when they were dominant, in the old Pacific Conference when they were dominant, they had big people, and then they all must have sat down by the rocking chair and remembered the famous Amos Alonzo Staggs saying, "Big fast people beat little fast people."
Not that much has changed since Coach Staggs' days. Interference there on Haley moves the ball, gives the Trojans a first down.
Trojans got a lot of speed to go with that size.
Keith, what do you make of this young quarterback who certainly looks the part? Darnold, an incredible first half.
Good arm.
Such poise for such a young player, too.
Well, look at what they've got this high. They're just covered with it.
Yeah.
They swim in it, and they think in it, and they do that better than probably their grandfather did when he was 14, 15.
Yeah.
They flip it in the flat. It's Adoree Jackson trying to make an impact as a receiver, knocked down. Nice tackle right at the line there.
Oh, that is a heck of a job in the open field by Malik Golden. We've talked all night about Adoree Jackson, what he can do with the ball in his hands, and you can see he closes the gap, the ground there, goes low, and does a nice job of forcing this 3rd down play.
He's really a good player.
Yeah, electrifying.
Sets up a 3rd and 10.
Chris, this is where Darnold has made plays escaping. Remember, he had a lot of success. We talked about that a little earlier. Buying time and then finding receivers downfield. See if Penn State tries to bottle him up.
Lions rush only 4. Darnold has some time. Now escapes. And takes a downfield shot. Burnett goes up. Broken up. Well defended by Haley down there. The Lions come up with a stop.
Just talked about how he creates and makes plays. It puts a lot of pressure on your secondary. It's a heck of a job by Grant Haley of staying with Burnett because you're trying to cover him for 5 or 6 seconds with that scramble. And that goes up, and Haley finds the football, does just enough there to get involved in trying to keep Burnett away from the ball.
Keith, we may be building toward another one of those classic finishes in this place. It's a thrill to have you along for a few minutes here.
How about that game the other night with Stanford and Florida State?
Oh yeah, with Florida State and Michigan. Was an incredible game. Yeah.
My goodness, I haven't seen a game like that since Michigan and Colorado.
Oh yeah. That was a great one.
False start. Offense. Number 42. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's fun when the bowl games have plenty of twists and turns at a dramatic finish. You might be headed this direction. You get a feel for how this one's going to end. Come down to a play or two in the last minute.
What do you guys think about the way they're scheduling these days? The after season as well as the preseason.
Well, that's become a big hot topic. Right? As you called so many big games in September, some of those non-conference games. I'd like to see more and more of those.
One thing that bothers me a little bit, he comes from an old-timer down in Texas who coached a lot of football games about the future and what the next major problem would be. And he said very quietly and firmly, too much coverage. Meaning saturation.
Yeah.
And I think he might be right as I watch it evolve.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Many would not argue. On that note, we'll say thank you once again, not only for joining us, but for what you've done over the years and what you met, and continued good health at 88. And Happy New Year to you, Keith Jackson. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. We will continue. 103rd granddaddy of them all. Lions get the ball back up 1. There's the royal wave there. We salute the Rose Queen for 2017, Victoria Castellanos, and her court, Audrey Cameron, Maya Khan, Shannon Larsoul, Autumn Lundy, Natalie Petrosian, and Lauren Powers. Big day for those ladies. And the Lions have the football back up by 1, Kirk, for once today, not fighting from behind. They just try to bring some pressure. McSorley steps up, takes a downfield shot for Godwin, who makes a catch and will scamper for a touchdown. Penn State's home run offense strikes again. 2 plays, 2 70-plus-yard touchdowns in the half.
That's the chance you take when you blitz as much as USC has been blitzing tonight. I mean, that's what Penn State has done to people in the second half of the season. They take shots downfield, and I think SC felt comfortable that they could match up in those situations, locate the ball and knock it away. But again, McSorley, as he's done most of this year, making big plays and giving those receivers a chance. And how about the tank that Godwin has had tonight for Penn State? 9 receptions, 187 yards on the night.
Penn State saying we expect this, but you saw the stunned look on the faces of USC fans. They're down 8 now.
They brought Leon McQuay, 22, from the field, and he almost is able to get to McSorley coming from his right. See the pressure. They get to the outside, but you leave the corner isolated. There's nobody behind. And if you don't locate the ball, and actually Marshall does a decent job of tipping the ball, but the extra job, the effort there by Godwin, not giving up on the play, locates the football and is able to secure it. There's Marshall, stride for stride. He's in phase. He puts that right hand up to knock it away, but he doesn't knock the ball down. Instead, it goes up, and Godwin makes the play.
No more head on the right who called the plays. He took a left jab to the chest from his head coach and then a shot in the back.
That's one of those when you call it, you're kind of saying, here we go, let's see what happens. And then he hits it, and you turn over and look at him like, bang.
I'll tell you what, Kirk, as the second half story continues to unfold for this team, there's some swag that the quarterback brings. There's some swag that the play caller, Joe Moe, they call him Joe Pa, so many years, now it's Joe Moe. They were brought in the first year.
They were down 13-0, and it felt worse in the first quarter.
It did.
And it just seems to settle them in and put a little bit of anxiousness in the entire team.
Jackson tries to answer. Never seen a second half start to any game, much less a Rose Bowl. A 79-yarder and a 72-yarder.
You can see right now, that's Marshall who just knocked that ball away. Trying to get the players' attention, and he's doing just that.
Dory Jackson, by the way, Kirk, slow to get up after returning that kick. And Penn State's defense back on the field now, protecting an 8-point lead. We were told by Tom Rinaldi that one of the key guys in that defense, Brandon Bell, was headed to the locker room. He's out there now, number 11. He was in tears. I think he felt maybe his day was over, but he's back out there.
Well, this is the Rose Bowl, and if he's able to play, he's going to give it everything that he has. He's had to battle through injuries this year.
He missed 4 games.
One of the
Penn
few
State defense suffered.
One of the few seniors on this team that plays.
Smith-Schuster takes the handoff, and he's hit hard at the corner by Haley. This is what we've seen. Penn State's defense feeds from on the offense and vice versa all season long.
And I think it was interesting talking to the players about how they believe in each other. It's a very tight-knit group. Good job there by Farmer getting upfield, and there's the hit. Penn State flying around right now, and Bell leading the charge, 11. Well, just a different energy coming off of this Penn State defense right now.
And again, the Lions would tell us you should not be surprised with what you've seen. This is our MO all year. Darnold delivers on the slant, batted up, intercepted. Bell's got it on the deflection, rumbling down inside the 5, tackled by the quarterback. A crazy carom and everything going Penn State's way.
He just talked at the report from Tom Rinaldi. He's going into the locker room, tears in his eyes. He comes back, makes a big hit the previous play, and now he comes up with an interception.
He is down on the ground holding that left wrist after returning the interception down inside the 5-yard line, and Darnold and the Trojans look absolutely shell-shocked at the moment. They can't believe they've seen this happen.
Well, the play is intercepted by Bell, but how about the effort on the outside, Chris? The corner, Christian Campbell, creates the interception. He jumps the route. How many times have you seen a quick throw? Watch him quick. Sees the quick slant, jumps to it, gets his hands on the ball, almost comes up with the interception himself, but by tipping it up into the air, it falls eventually into the hands of Bell. But Christian Campbell, the junior, creates the turnover for Penn State.
Campbell might have grabbed it and it fallen to the ground. Bell says, no, I'll just take that from you. I'll take that from you.
Yeah, but his acceleration off the break on the quick slant is really what set that up, and then Bell, the senior, takes it away.
Literally took it off a teammate.
Yeah.
And now they're being looked at still down on the 5-yard line. You mentioned he's a senior, Kirk. If he can't continue, this may be the final play of his Penn State career, but what a humongous play as they continue to review it, but look pretty straightforward. For Darnold, it would be his first interception. It's a tough guy, no doubt.
He's the head coach right down there.
Absolutely stunning turnaround of this game. We know Penn State's a great second half team, but the way this has happened in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. Well, a way to report on Bell's condition. Wayne Hates still with the booth here.
Back into the locker room for the second time, still holding that right arm.
He's in the USC section down there.
Is reviewing the person that intercepted the ball. After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Penn State.
Bell was taken off out of the tunnel to the locker room in an area surrounded by USC fans, and they were on their feet applauding.
Yeah, I think everybody appreciates the effort. They were reviewing the play, and I'm still trying to figure out what they were reviewing, unless they thought maybe Campbell had intercepted it himself while his knee was down. Other than that, there really wasn't anything to review. But here we go. Let's see if Penn State tries to get 6. Obviously, SC now. We've been talking about Penn State's defense needing to make a stand. Now it's SC that needs to come up with a play.
First and goal. McSorley running all the way, cuts it back and barrels in. And Penn State builds more momentum and stretches the lead to a couple touchdowns.
If you eliminate the drive at the end of the half, that's 6 straight drives now for touchdowns for McSorley in Penn State. They outnumber him with a quarterback run. Left tackle does a nice job of getting out there. Ryan Bates. McSorley's involved. Nobody picks up McSorley as Barkley ends up getting him into the end zone.
Trickiest part about that play was collecting the high snap from Gaia, which we certainly had to grab and then move in. And so a 3-yard quarterback run gives Penn State a 15-point lead. This is a team that 3 different times in the first half was down 13 points. And you know, McSorley told his team as they took the field for warm-ups, guys, it's our chance to write our history. We get one chance here. The thing about this is most people thought they would have no chance to get back to this Rose Bowl. When they were hit with the sanctions at the time, these veterans came aboard this program with faith and little else that this could happen. Now to have the recovery from the sanctions, which many thought would take a decade, be this quick and get to this game and play like this.
Can't say enough about the seniors who stuck it out. And there were some players, when these sanctions came down, decided to leave. These seniors watched guys like Michael Maldi stand there and say, this is Penn State. It's bigger than these sanctions. It's about the tradition and what Penn State football means to our community and to our fans and to the former Letterman. And they decided to stick it out. Who would have ever thought that 5 years later they'd be in Pasadena playing in the Rose Bowl as a 5th-ranked team, taking on USC with a 42-27 lead in the 3rd quarter.
Those players are all aware that many out there have strong negative feelings about this program, the simple, heinous nature of the crimes that Jerry Sandusky committed after he left Penn State staff on the premises there. Will always make people have mixed feelings about this, but no one involved with the program has anything to do with that.
The coaches, the players that are currently on this football team, the administration, there's nobody that's at Penn State that had anything to do with what happened. This is about James Franklin, and it's about this group of football players playing in 2016.
We can get into the story a little bit deeper about how these guys, the core of seniors, decided to stick around. It was really the group just before them who've already moved on, who had to try to keep things together, and even hit with those sanctions, unprecedented sanctions that were peeled back a little bit a couple of years ago. Never had a losing season in Happy Valley in that time.
It's incredible job. First Bill O'Brien and now James Franklin, and now it's about Sam Darnold and USC keeping their wits about them as this game is kind of completely flipped the other way.
Jones picks his way. We're talking about the poise of Darnold. Everything was going right for him and his receiving core, and suddenly they're down by 15.
Yeah, and we talked about as Penn State was trying to play catch up. Boy, what did you ask me? What is McSorley going to press? Because their own defense cannot stop Sam Darnold, but it's a 60-minute game. And as we've seen now, Penn State's defense has made some adjustments and doing a good job of getting USC off the field.
2nd and 6. Delivers to Rogers. Northwestern Mutual plan for success involves trying to affect him. Haven't really had an effective pass rush yet.
No, but they've done a good job in coverage. And I'll tell you, even when he's completing passes, these Penn State defensive backs are in pretty good position. It's just the accuracy and the anticipation that Darnold's throwing the ball with has given his receivers a chance, even though they've been pretty well covered.
Darnold steps up. It's a downfield shot. Smith-Schuster trying to track it down. John Reed was in coverage.
Taking a shot, and even though you miss it there on 1st and 10, it's a smart call by T. Martin to take a shot.
Great effort here.
He had a step on him, tremendous effort, just misses him. But again, I think it sends a message to the Penn State defense that, guys, we're not just going to throw these underneath throws, these quick rhythmic throws. We're going to take some shots, and it's nice to plant a seed in that Penn State defense's mind that, it's not just about the short passing game.
Take it to Jones, and Rogers was wide open on a slant, and Darnold missed him that time.
Yeah, I think he hurried that one a little bit. I think he saw that he had him open, and he had room to run, that he tried to. It was one of the few times we've seen him get out of rhythm and get the ball out almost too fast. He didn't quite give Rogers enough chance to get out of his break and break free from the defender. That time they're just out of sync, sets up a 3rd and long.
Darnold puts it on a screen to send Ware. And Ware, plenty of room, dragged down at the 32. His first touch of the evening is a big one.
Great call on third down against a blitz. It's about blocking the guy in man-to-man. Right here is a man who has him. Watch what USC is able to do on third down. If you can get him blocked, which they do right there, now you've got room out there because everybody else, see how they have their back turned to him because they're man-to-man. Kabinda had the back out of the backfield. He was accounted for with the block. Have plenty of room for him to run after the catch.
Jones makes through. The Trojans and T. Martin try to snap a 28-zip run for Penn State here.
Yeah, T. Martin's doing a very good job of not losing his patience. We are early in this second half. Plenty of time. You score on this drive and get a touchdown. It's a one-possession game. So they're just sticking to who they are. Balanced attack, a little bit of quick throw, took a shot, screen. Nice job of mixing it up here on this drive.
Jones cuts it back, slipped as he tried to make a cut. He's right near the marker at the 22. It'll be a first down.
It's like the official at the top.
Check that, they'll spot it back.
Maybe it's about a half-yard short. Maybe they'll bring out the sticks.
Parker Cothran, the junior defensive tackle for the Lions, down on the field. They have depth at that defensive line position. The linebackers are asked to go the distance, but they'll rotate the defensive tackles and ends a lot, keep them fresh.
Well, they've already done that quite a bit here in this first half and beginning of the second half. We've seen Kevin Gibbons playing a lot on the inside. There's a kind of a change of undersized, much quicker guy compared to Parker Cothran and Curtis Cothran.
Bring the chains out, and the Trojans are about a 3/4 of a yard short. It'll be third down. Reminder that coming up from the Superdome, an All-State Sugar Bowl, Auburn Tigers and Oklahoma Sooners, also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. Beautiful sunset after a stormy, cloudy day. See Baker and Dede try to hook up down there in the Superdome.
Two finalists in New York with the Heisman. You don't see that very often. One team. I remember Leinart and Reggie Bush. How often does that happen? You have a couple from the same team.
For Penn State, Kijana Carter.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins, same year in '94. They talked about that Rose Bowl team. Adrian Peterson, Jason White also did it for Oklahoma. They're giving me Heisman trivia in the middle of a game here now. 3rd and 1. Justin Davis is the back. He's got it, and to immediately cut back. Worked hard just to get a half yard and the first down. Kabinda wrestled him down.
Yeah, it's because Terrence Brown got penetration, the defensive end. They're just slanting that defensive line. They slant to the left, and then Kabinda's right there, makes the play just short of that marker. But because of the effort and the twisting there of Davis, he picks up that first down. But before he got to Kabinda, he had to put his foot in the ground and get around a closing Torrance Brown.
How impressive was Kabinda talking about the motivation, the unity of this team, some of the issues we talked about a few minutes ago.
Blew me away.
Davis cuts it back. Jason Kabinda is a great example about what's right about college football.
Oh my gosh. I could not get it. I could have talked to him for 2 weeks. And he is an impressive guy. He's already made an announcement that he's going to come back to Penn State next year. A junior, the quarterback, the leader, the kind of the heart and soul in the middle of that defense.
Look at those eyes, huh?
Reminds you like a young Mike Singletary kind of guy with the intensity that he plays with.
And 2nd and 1, play action fake, touchdown! Juju Smith-Schuster, and the Trojans do break the 28-point run.
That is great patience that time by Sam Darnold. He pumped because he almost let the ball go, but he waited for Juju Smith-Schuster to clear. And once he cleared, he let it go to the top right. Watch Darnold's right there. He wanted to throw it, but he waited until Juju was able to clear the coverage there from Christian Campbell. Nice job there. See, watch him wait. Now he releases it. Once he cleared, Juju Smith gets behind Campbell pretty easily.
And now they're going to go for 2. Darnold is on the field. Look at this formation. A whole bunch of folks off to the left. Quarterback in the shotgun takes it, rolls out, slips as he cuts, and now just flips it into the end zone to McNamara for the two-point conversion.
I don't think it was designed that way,
You know,
but it worked out. I think he wanted to run it in or throw it to his other tight end.
he said he was a great point guard, right?
That was, and then he just kind of, just almost like he's in practice, just kind of flipped it to McNamara for the two-pointer.
Rolls out, yeah, slips right here. 48 says, I'm open, here you go.
It worked.
So an 8-point touchdown drive for the Trojans, who've cut it back to 7. We're having fun in the Rose Bowl this evening. Lions turn next. Free. They've got more than their money's worth. USC for the first time this year converts on a two-point try. They tried one and failed. Penn State hadn't faced a two-point try all season. The 65-yard touchdown drive. That's the Penn State lead to 7. The Lions offense goes back on the field after having scored touchdowns on each of their last 4 plays.
Say that again after this.
This is Miles Sanders. Looks his way. And 4 consecutive plays. Penn State has scored. Gesicki touchdown, remember, at the end of the half, and then these 3 plays here in the 3rd quarter.
This isn't the last 4 drives. The last 4 offensive plays for Penn State have been touchdowns. Here early in the second half by Barkley, which was just one of his best runs of his career. Next play, next time they got the ball back, Godwin adjusts, finds the ball off the tip by Marshall. They come back up with an interception by Bell, and then a short touchdown run by McSorley. So I don't think they're going to. I think the trend's going to continue. 5 straight here. That's a heck of a play.
It's the Capital One pivotal performance, and a false start before the snap by the Lions. So anything less than a touchdown is a huge disappointment on this play, right?
False start. Offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Seen plenty of resilience from this man's team, and that's a crazy drive chart against a pretty darn good defense that, remember, smothered Washington, smothered Oregon, and the rest of the opponents they faced down the stretch in the Pac-12.
What that didn't show is their first 4 possessions, 2 interceptions and 2 punts. So they were kind of searching, and then they've been on this string of touchdowns.
Barkley, no touchdown this time. Just a good first down game. Have you ever in your life heard of such a thing?
No, never. I've never.
4 touchdowns in 4 straight plays.
Backyard football, you might do that, but not in a game like this. And you know they've had this trend. We've seen it. But you were talking about in the first half. This is USC's defense. This is USC's offense. But it's a belief that I think Penn State has. But with all that being said, SC just got it to a 1-possession game, and they've got the momentum back on their side.
That's a great point. Don't think you got the thing won because you're up 15 a minute ago. McSorley pressured, escapes and flips it to Barkley. Very close to the line of scrimmage when he flipped that pass to the running back, who gets out to the 40 and is slow to get up.
He put the linebacker Cameron Smith in a tough spot here, who's in coverage. Watch him. He slips back. McSorley basically forces him to either cover Barkley or take me as the quarterback. Watch him up here at the top, right here. He decides I'm going to come off of Barkley, take the quarterback, and that's what opened up the throw that time to Barkley out of the backfield.
So Barkley being looked at, and Mark Allen comes in, number 8.
Smaller, but really quick. 5'6", 180 pounds.
He's got it, but nowhere to run. Heavy traffic. Your guy Stevie T clogged it up.
Stevie T, 6'1", 320. We talked a lot about him going up against Gaia in the middle. He is, again, the transfer from Utah, holds the point. Look at him extend his arms, gets off of Gaia. Not only is he eating up blocks, but he's making plays at the line of scrimmage.
Tuipulotu and Gaia is fun to watch. We talked about the 2 big, strong veterans testing each other this afternoon. That round to Stevie T. Barkley back in the game. Trojans show some pressure. McSorley picks it up at the last second and shows his improvisational skills. Slides down for a short gain, and the Trojans hit him. Chris Hawkins, the safety, hit the quarterback after he slid. It'll be 15.
It starts with another safety blitz from McQuay. He almost blew the play up in the backfield, but great effort by McSorley.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
You see McQuay get in there. McSorley somehow gets out of there. Boy, that is a very mild hit there at the end from Hawkins. I mean, he's down, but my gosh, I don't know. A ticky-tack to me.
Hawkins agrees, but he gave himself up there. It moves the ball to the 45. 7th penalty for the Trojans. They're the more penalized team throughout the season. James Franklin told his team, we have to have an edge. We have to be the more disciplined team, have fewer penalties than they do. And so far, they have. McSorley again, pressured, somehow slips away and flips it on the far side to Barkley, who's wide open. Flag comes in as Saquon spins down at the 32, and that'll cost Penn State some yards.
How does McSorley do it? I mean, the kid just makes plays. He's in that pocket looking around. He somehow comes out of it as it's being squeezed. They're collapsing on him. Looks out in the flat and sees his check down, Barkley. Just the guy he wants to get the ball out there to.
There is no foul on the play. The pass was behind the line of scrimmage when the contact occurred downfield. First down.
Clay Helton can smile. Remember, that is the replay ruling on the touchdown that they got. Contact with the ball behind the line. So Barkley's catch moves the ball to the 31.
In this case, he was way behind the line, about 4 yards, but very good job by McSorley keeping the play alive, and then the awareness to find his check down. The other thing Joe Moorhead is doing along with McSorley, they're changing up their tempos. Sometimes they're going fast to try to get an idea of what kind of coverage they're facing in a blitz. Other times they're looking over, trying to get SC to tip their hand.
They flip it to Allen this time, who's given a breather to Barkley, and he is well defended. Dropped for a loss there by Hutchings.
It was Hutchings, but also Nwosu, who has had a big night and a big year for SC. I remember you and I called the SC Alabama game week 1 down in Arlington. It obviously didn't go their way. Sam Darnold wasn't in the lineup, and I remember Clancy Pendergast telling us, you know, Cameron Smith is the one guy in my front seven that's played a lot of football. This has been a young team that's grown up a lot, especially in the trenches this entire season during this stretch of winning games.
I saw Marcus Allen looking on as he watches the guy on the other side, Saquon Barkley, have a spectacular game, back in the game now on 2nd and 18. McSorley steps up, improvises again. That one is too tall for Gesicki, and now a flag comes in, but they hit him late again. Rasheem Green was in McSorley's face. Elton's hoping it's a hold.
They hit him high and low.
Targeting, defense, number 35, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Cameron Smith lunges into the head of McSorley. He gets hit low here by Green, and then right here, that's what Rogers Redding and Dave Kataya, that's what they talk about, that lunge. You leave your feet, you lead with your helmet. That is why the rule was really put in place, to avoid contact like that.
They'll have to review this as they do review all targetings, but if it stands, Smith is out of the game. Dave Kataya, here's a check of the replay. Your verdict.
Well, there's a couple of things here. First of all, quarterback's defenseless, which means any contact with head, arm, shoulder, or helmet, face mask above the shoulder with a launch, which you see right there, a leap from both feet. This is going to either be confirmed or stands. This is a targeting foul the way I see it.
It checks a few boxes, doesn't it?
It does.
Dave, there are fans, I think, confused with targeting, and you saying that he is defenseless. Can you explain? Quarterbacks aren't always defenseless. Why is he defenseless here?
There's several categories of defenseless. So let's talk about this with the quarterback. The rule says one of the categories is once the quarterback releases the ball, he now becomes defenseless, which adds to the targeting, which includes the hand, arm, shoulder. If he wasn't defenseless, he has to be hit with the crown of the helmet. He is defenseless.
And Cameron Smith will be excluded, the top tackler on this USC defense. Had a terrific season again as a sophomore. So not only is it going to cost them 15, but it's going to cost them the use of their top tackler.
The ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 35 is disqualified from the game.
It's a big loss.
And it's a second personal foul penalty on this possession. Trojans defense self-destructing.
But here's what you lose with Cameron Smith, a guy that's fought back from an ACL to be just kind of a physical guy at 245 pounds. And initially you see Quentin Powell, who's played a lot of football, but more of a kind of a nickel linebacker, 6'2", 200 pounds. So a much quicker but smaller linebacker now in the middle for USC. So that's a big loss against the run game of Barkley when you lose 245-pound Smith and you put a 200-pounder now in Powell.
And especially since Buda Tucker, another reserve linebacker, he's sitting out this one with an academic suspension. So already depleted linebacker core just got thinner with the top tackler out. Penalty moves the ball to the 24, first down for the Lions.
Keep an eye on him right here. He is in the game, and again, the run game, defending the pounding and the physicality of Saquon Barkley is where they will now be tested that much more.
Play clock winding down. They spent a long time looking at the sideline. Now they're going to have to spend a timeout. Try to do these adjustments, the chess match pre-snap. Lions marching up 7.
It seems like every financial company talks about investing your way.
Penalties for SC on this drive, Kirk, that prevented a 3rd and 8 and a 3rd and 18. Remember that. The Sugar Bowl, by the way, will begin about 20 minutes from now, 8:40 Eastern, over on ESPN2 because of the length of this game. And of course, will follow us when this one is concluded. I got the feeling we got a few more plot twists to come in Pasadena, though. There's Powell in for the ejected Smith. And Barkley downhill and down inside the 10.
Boy, we just talked about Smith going out at 245 pounds. Watch the freshman lineman, the right guard McGovern, get up to him. Boom, locks up on him. Look at that, that's a different block for McGovern, blocking a 200-pound guy versus going up against a guy 245 pounds. So the first play without Smith, big yards right up the middle by Barkley.
110-pound difference in those two guys, and the guard won that one. 1st and goal. Lions trying to go up by 2 touchdowns again. McSorley running, whoop, passing, touchdown, Barkley. That's not improvisation, that's planned all the way. But Saquon gets in the end zone as a receiver.
A great job. They've run the football in his same look with McSorley, with Barkley leading the way. They give him the same look. Here he goes. He's going to block. Nope. He's going to go right around him and pick up the touchdown. See, the safety loses his footing because he was fooled. McQuay, perfect job. Right time to call it by Moorhead. Catches him off guard, and a good throw and good execution by McSorley.
PAT, the prettiest, but it gets through. Barkley has run it for 180 and a couple touchdowns, and now caught 5 passes for 55 yards and a touchdown.
I think we have a shootout on our hands here. High-scoring game.
Grew up again watching Rose Bowl games, idolizing Reggie Bush. Comes out to the Rose Bowl and had a better game than Reggie was able to have in this field.
Sure has. He's done a lot in this game, especially early. Boy, he was making every throw, buying time, on the ball early and on the money. It's really not just a beat. It's important for him to not feel like he has to press here. As quickly as he and his offense can score, they can get right back down there and get this within a 1-possession game. Already 84 points, a new Rose Bowl record, and we haven't even gotten into the 4th quarter.
28 points by the Lions here in the third quarter. Touchdowns on each of their last 7 possessions. Dory Jackson is very competitive, extra competitive after the SC defense gets beat. He tries to come right back and make a play as a returner to reverse momentum. He's dancing around looking for space. Finds some. A flag comes in as he's dragged down short of the 30. This will negate the return. And Jackson down on the field grabbing his leg. And grimacing.
He looked like his leg got stuck underneath when he was getting tackled.
Footing's been an issue on this field from the very first plays. You can see by that view how chewed up it is down there.
Yeah. His right leg looked like it got caught underneath him when he made a cut. Right there.
Out of respect, a lot of Penn State players who are right near where he's being treated, gonna on one knee, showing support. Jackson, a junior, widely expected to declare for the NFL draft. The last thing anybody wants to see is a career at SC end like this. He's a guy that has aspirations to be an Olympic long jumper, 2-time Pac-12 champ in that discipline, and firmly believes that he can be among the best in the world as a long jumper.
He's getting up.
Yeah, you certainly hope.
And like you said, Chris, look at the Penn State players around him. It's Sorley right there. A lot of guys coming over to pat him on the back. Saquon Barkley in there.
Dory Jackson, it's been a privilege to watch him play in a Trojan uniform as a defender, occasionally as an offensive player, and as an electric kick returner. Don't want to diagnose what we're seeing, but this may be a postscript on what's been a brilliant career.
I think he's the most versatile player in the country, personally. Again, I know Jabril Pepper's got a lot of attention. You talk about impacting a game and being an electrifying player in so many different ways. He really, again, he's been as good as there is this year in the sport.
So Darnold and the Trojans, after the penalty, pinned back at the 9, down 14. Burnett slips a tackle and dives forward. You see Jackson get injured, Kirk, and it brings up the issue that's been a hot button topic with Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey passing on their bowl games with the draft in mind, and certainly no USC player is going to ever pass up on an opportunity to play in a Rose Bowl.
No.
But it is a big issue.
Yep.
Jake Budd of Michigan, the tight end, an ACL injury suffered in the Orange Bowl against Florida State.
I think players that have a bright future, not only this year but moving forward, they're going to have to decide about their individual careers and finishing things off with their team. And ultimately, which way do you lean? What's more important to you? Is it more about your career? And if you feel that way, you need to sit out. And if you feel like, man, I just want to have one more chance to play with my guys, then you play.
Either way, do you respect the decision as an individual one?
You have to respect whatever a player decides. I don't agree with it personally. I think you could get injured anytime. But I can understand why guys are doing it.
Again, Fournette and McCaffrey didn't sit out a Rose Bowl game. That's different. It's an experience of a lifetime to play on this field. And you certainly hope that whatever injury Jackson may have suffered over there is not severe. Final minute now of a crazy third quarter. Penn State outscoring USC 28-8 during the third quarter. And remember, they are the best fourth quarter team around.
They did such a good job of staying patient and not getting away from their game plan on that last drive when they were down 14. They're going to be asked to do that same thing here.
You flip it in the flat to Davis, and he is hit hard by Mr. Kabinda, and he's still down on the field.
Well, Kabinda this time, man-to-man, they're trying to get in the way of Kabinda, but he gets depth and gets around the receivers that are trying to bring the corners over with him. Just trying to kind of set up a screen. Kabinda sensed that and gets depth.
He's the guy that had a thumb injury. He missed 5 games. He came back for the Ohio State game And he made an instant impact in that game, and he made a big impact on Davis there.
He sure did. But it was the recognition. This play had a chance. These receivers are getting here. They're bringing these two defenders. See, Kabenda already recognized it. He gets depth to avoid all that traffic. Now he gets around it, and now he's able to close in and make the play. That's awareness before the fact that allowed him to be able to make that play. Because if he gets caught up in that traffic, then Davis makes that catch, and he's around that left corner for 15, 20, 25 yards.
Who do you think Jason's older sister is rooting for today? She went to USC. Remember, he's from originally Orange County before the family moved back east. And she chose to become a Trojan, watching her little brother shut down the Trojans' offense this afternoon.
You try to tell me he's a Cali guy, and he's like, no. I'm real Jersey. I'm a real Jersey guy.
Look at those eyes again. 3rd and 4, when maybe the final play of the quarter. Darnold retreating, buying time, stepping up and slipping down. Ball comes out. Was he down? Scrum inside the 20. They did not call him down. SC recovered the ball anyway. It was Mama, the guard on the recovery. Garrett Sickles got in there.
I don't know if his left leg, looked like his left knee might have been down before the ball came out. Looks like he's down at about the 26-yard line.
It will still be 4th down, and it will still be the end of a crazy 3rd quarter. A quarter in which Penn State scored touchdowns on their first 3 plays of the 3rd. Yeah, he was down before the ball came out, but the Trojans are down by 14 heading to the 4th.
Dory Jackson, a lot of people fearing he injured his knee. That is not the case. It is his right ankle. They took the shoe off and the socks off, retaped that ankle, put the socks back on. When he tried to put his shoe back on, he had a hard time doing it, was in a lot of pain. He tried to run up and down the sideline, still having pain, Chris. We'll see if he's able to come back in.
Thanks, Samantha. A relief that it's not a knee injury as Tilby boots it away to Garrity, who makes a fair catch. He had both shoes off, and he said,
he's trying to get some more shoes. Yeah. He wants to get back out on the field. It doesn't look like a guy that's going to shut it down, does it? There's Justin Davis, running back. He's battled some a high ankle sprain throughout this whole year. And those high ankle sprains, just when you think you've recovered one wrong movement, and you're back to square one.
Running out of space on those trainers' tables down there. To the Lions, again, touchdowns on 7 consecutive possessions. SC's got to find a way to get a service break.
They've got to be able to tighten up, obviously, their coverage on the outside, but they've really got to load up against Barkley in the running game.
Saquon spins away, escapes a tackle in the backfield by Nwosu, gets back to the line of scrimmage. And the Allstate Sugar Bowl will begin in about 5-6 minutes over on ESPN2. It's going to kick about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. ESPN2 will be your home to watch the Tigers and the Sooners. And of course, as soon as this Rose Bowl game is over, coverage will continue right here on ESPN. 2nd and 10. Too early to bleed the clock, right? If you're Joe Moorhead.
Yeah,
14.
but you have no problem with McSorley chewing up as much clock as he can. Not that it's being emphasized this early in the 4th quarter.
They fake it to Barkley. Trace retreats, takes off, loses the ball. It's out. Rasheem Green forced the fumble. Lions say they have it back.
It looked like McGovern, the right guard, the freshman, had a chance to jump on top of the ball. Great effort by Green to knock that ball out. McGovern's right there, but USC fans reacting. Maybe at the bottom of that pile, USC came up with it, and they did.
USC football. Sui Polavatu, big Stevie T, won the battle at the bottom of the pile, Kirk. And Dory says, I'm going to get back in there.
So Stevie T and McGovern have been battling in the trenches. This time they're battling for the football. And SC gets exactly what they need. The effort by Green. Look at the ball. That was a problem for McSorley early in the year. Fumbling the football. He's done a much better job of protecting it. This time the ball's away from him. Green, the long arms, he knocks it out. And SC gets the break that they need in plus territory.
Yeah, you're right, Kirk. The first 3 games, he fumbled 8 times. They lost 3 of them. In the last 10 games, really didn't have a true fumble. There was the high snap against Wisconsin, the scoop and score. That really wasn't on him. This fumble was.
Yeah, ball was away from him and trying to make a play. But boy, I'll tell you, Green is a great athlete on that defensive line.
Sorely disappointed. The one thing they've harped on again and again, really with both of these quarterbacks, is ball security, because Darnold has been a little bit fumble prone this season as well. And once a defensive team knows that, they're going to hack and chop at the ball, aren't they?
We're going to review this. This is there's McGovern with his hands on the ball. There's the football. And here's Stevie T, and they're battling 96 to try to get that football away from the big fella McGovern.
Now they could review whether or not he had clear possession of the ball while he's on the field, but it's tough to overturn this, Dave, isn't it?
There's no clear recovery of who got the ball, so the only thing they can review is whether it's a fumble or not, and it's clearly a fumble.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so right now all we see is a pile of players. Okay, replay is out of it now. There's no shot that shows a clear recovery by anybody.
So what are we reviewing?
What they may be reviewing as to whether it's a fumble or not, unless they think there's a clear recovery. Guys, I don't see anything there that can tell me recovery.
Yeah, the ball's out.
Oh, definitely out. But did McGovern, have the ball in his arms, in possession of it while he was laying on the ground, which would end the play, though, right, Dave?
It would if replay can get a good shot that shows him clearly recovering.
Tell me if you see him clearly recovering this football.
All right, it disappears from view right now.
There's his hand on it, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it in his possession. He's got a hand on it.
To me, he's got his hand on it, but we lose sight of the ball too quickly. Okay, my opinion, this is going to stand. But unless they have a quad shot where they can freeze every replay in one position, and they can take a look at that.
Quad shot? You're calling for technical stuff now.
They can freeze. They're going to reverse it. Okay.
Here it is. Wayne Haight will have the verdict, with Greensboro involved at ACC headquarters, as they have been all year long when this conference's crew is. This is a very crucial play that they're continuing, we're told, to review here and in Greensboro.
Yeah, just to clarify, like I said, the thing that what they can review, it's a fumble. We all agree it's clearly a fumble. Okay, now they're out of it if they can't see a clear recovery. So they need to determine what we saw with his hand on the ball, if they feel in the replay official's judgment whether that's a clear recovery.
Let me ask you, if you're an official on the field and I'm a big offensive lineman and I put in a scrum my right hand on top of the ball, do I have the ball secured?
No, not in my opinion, unless it just sits there and nobody falls on it. This type of thing is a survival of the fittest. You dig them out and see who has the ball. Nobody can see it unless that one shot that you showed. But if that's enough,
but all he had was his hand out on the ball.
They have to be able to determine whether that's enough for possession. That's the key here.
Well, I don't know if you got a big paw on it, laying on the ground. Yeah, it's not tucked into your body, but I think he would argue that. At least McGovern would argue, I had the ball. I had it pinned to the field with my big hand. This is a very methodical job being done by the replay consortium here.
Chris, back to your point, if that paw is on there and he's secured the ball and replay feels that's possession, you are correct.
I've never seen that called. It always seems like it has to be in your body when you recover a fumble.
After review, it was determined that a Penn State player on the ground had recovered the ball. It will be Penn State football, 3rd and 11 at the 33-yard line.
Big effort by McGovern. The replay booth said, we were just debating it, did he have possession?
What's he talking about, said Clay Helton. You could read his lips.
Yeah, that one will be argued for a long time. 66 right there. It's not where he recovers it. It's later as it continued. He just put his hand out.
He got slipped away from him a little bit.
It's still bobbling there, right there.
But he's got it pinned to the ground.
That's what they would consider possession. Because his body's down, he's got the ball pinned to the ground, and I guess based on replay, they're saying that is possession.
Yeah. In their judgment, they're saying that he had possession, clear recovery before that big pileup.
Now it's still a 3rd down play coming up.
Look at the reaction by Franklin. They need 11 on 3rd down, but it's not USC ball at the +33. USC crowd sending a chorus of boos down toward the ACC crew here. SC defense has to regroup, get off the field here.
Linebackers up, either disguising or bringing pressure. That's why McSorley are going to look over and talk about Powell and Hutchings up close into the middle of that line of scrimmage.
Barkley cannot dance free, dropped down. And that was big Stevie T with the tackle for loss, and Penn State will have to punt.
So more than anything, it's just a field position thing. Penn State ends up punting a play, a couple plays later. But SC, as you said, Chris, loses having the ball in plus territory, maybe a change of momentum, getting it within one possession. Now it's going to be back on Sam Darnold and the SC offense.
Jackson not back to return this. We hope he can return, but it's Deontay Burnett deep against Blake Gillikin. The true freshman's had a terrific season punting the ball for Penn State. Hasn't had much work this afternoon, but this was a major weakness for the Lions last year. Gillikin has changed all that. Look at the coverage. And they trap Burnett back at the 17-yard line. Key component of Penn State's success, that kind of punting, as Jackson is consoled by teammates on the sideline. That's Chris Hawkins, his safety teammate in the defensive backfield. And tears from McDorey. They indicate that he will not be able to return.
Chris Hawkins been with Dory for a long time, trying to console him. Sam Darnold, time to add to those most combined points. 5 possessions this second half. They do have a touchdown, but 3 punts and an interception.
We've seen that each quarterback today has already equaled the Rose Bowl record for touchdown passes with 4. I would not bet against one or both of them getting more and claiming that record.
I keep talking about how USC needs to kind of stick to their identity and not panic. Now all of a sudden you start to get under 13 minutes, 2-possession game. You don't have to necessarily start throwing the ball like crazy, but you do need a little bit more urgency from Darnold in the offense, especially as far back as they are right now inside their own 20.
Lions crowd the line, then back off on 2nd and 9. Darnold from the pocket steps up and is knocked down after a short gain. It's not really a big play offense, is it, Kirk? It's kind of a methodical ball control passing game.
It is, and other than when he scrambles, other than when he buys time. That time, Penn State, that's the one thing that Brent Pry's probably telling his guys as the defensive coordinator, Coach Fry. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him to the outside where he buys time, and that's where he makes his big play. If they're going to dink and dunk, that's one thing. Let's not give up the big play off the scramble. Good job on the defensive line, keeping him in the pocket.
Trojans 6 of 12 on 3rd down. Darnold pressured immediately, throws it dangerously over the middle, and Smith-Schuster off the carom makes the catch, and they move the sticks. Wow.
Boy, they brought Kabenda. Kabenda gets in there. Garrett Sickles gets in there. And that was a freshman decision to throw that ball and just hope over the middle, and it floats over the top of one receiver and then into the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster. So USC on 3rd down. Big risk and chance by the young quarterback, and somehow it pays off, lands in the arms of their talented receiver, number 9.
You could see maybe some desperation in that throw. He got hit hard, was a little shaky after the play. They throw a slant, and it's a short gain to Burnett. Again, the man who scored a couple of touchdowns tonight.
It's a little thing, but a good job. This guy, I tell you, he's got such poise. It was another run-pass option. And that linebacker blitzed. He saw him as he put the ball into the stomach of his running back. He pulled out of that, hit the quick slant right behind the blitz. Little thing, but it sets up a 2nd and 4 instead of running into a blitz.
Lions bring the blitz again, and Darnold delivers to Burnett again, who makes the catch at the Penn State 41.
You need arm strength to make this throw. You're squeezing this throw between a linebacker and a safety, and the safety is closing in on the receiver. He has to throw that on a line because Burnett has to make the catch and then get down as Golden is about to lower the boom. Great throw and a good job of getting it out quickly by Darnold.
Pick up 20.
If he hesitates there for a second, Golden's over to make the play.
Jones knocked down. A dangerous run before Marcus Allen. That's right, Penn State's Marcus Allen made the tackle.
We have not seen Jones get out at all.
No.
I mean, you talk to a lot of people in these last 3 or 4 weeks. One of the things that I know Marcus Allen was thinking about was not just Darnold making big plays in a pass game, but Ronald Jones finding some creases against a blitzing defense and hitting some big plays. But so far tonight, he's not been able to do anything. 15 carries and only 41 yards.
Kirk, that was his longest run of the night, 7 yards.
Yeah,
He's had 400-yard games in the last 5.
Yeah, he's averaging less than 3 yards a touch so far.
Give him another try, another short gain. We'll set up a 3rd and short. It's a methodical drive, but a drive that's only alive because of that crazy decision and the Karam catch.
Can't believe that.
If they come back and score here,
everything was a no. And this kid's great, but everything was a no-no there. Late over the middle, floats it.
playing with some urgency, some tempo, and Jones just going to get enough to get the first down. These are hard-earned rushing yards against this Lions front tonight.
They're doing great. It's the front and the linebackers. That's kind of their MO, attacking downhill. Kabinda and Bell. Manny Bowen is not playing in this game, suspended. And Koa Farmer has been playing pretty well in his place, number 7. Rotating Brandon Smith in there as well. A lot of different bodies that Brent Fry has rotated around.
Trojans finally over 100 yards rushing, but it's taken a long time to get there. Darnold now loops it for Smith. Schuster! Terrific catch, but he's out of bounds. Incomplete. Running stride for stride with John Reed.
Boy, I'd love to take a look at this. That was a rainbow. How about the accuracy on the fade? Does he get a foot down? I mean, oh my gosh, that was close at right foot. Watch this right. Is his foot still down when he has the ball? That's a catch. That's a catch at the 5-yard line.
It has been shown on the screen, and the Trojan fans who already feel slighted by the officials certainly agree. They're hollering.
They're going to get this. That's a perfectly thrown football by Sam Darnold. You can't throw it any better. Any better. It's impossible.
Incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
That's definitely a catch.
Now we'll take a quick break as they review it here and in Greensboro again. From Darnold sets him up at the 3.
Yeah, we first guessed on that one. It would look like his foot was down, and in fact they confirmed that the right foot was down. Tremendous effort on the back end by Juju Smith-Schuster, but the throw by Sam Darnold was ridiculous. He gets hit as he throws it by Kevin Givens. He can't even really fully follow through because he gets hit, and he drops a dime right on the head of Juju Smith-Schuster to give him a chance to make that catch. Big time by Darnold.
Jones. Touchdown SC. Rojo caps off an eventful drive for USC that covered 83 yards in 10 plays and featured a conversion on 3rd down and a Karam reversal and a great catch, and finally a short touchdown run.
Nice seal block by Rodgers, number 1, comes right here, picks it up, sets him, gives him a chance to get around and walk into the end zone for a touchdown. And boy, this one's setting up for a really, really exciting finish with 8:15 to go.
Burmeister to make it a 7-point game with 8:15 to play. Now it's been an evening for offense. Spectacular throws, spectacular catches. That one by Smith-Schuster gets the Trojans back within a touch.
To achieve financial security, there are two.
AT&T. Get your entertainment and sports your way from AT&T and Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
What a fun way to spend a Monday night. Cassidy to the highest scoring Rose Bowl game in history. 91 combined points, a dozen touchdowns. And the Trojans get a crucial score to draw within 7. We're able to get a stop. The last time Penn State had the football, that snapped a streak of 7 consecutive drives. Penn State had scored touchdowns. Saquon Barkley is back deep to receive the kickoff. Not one of his usual chores. Takes it at the goal line. Saquon slipped as he made a cut and is knocked down at the 25. Tom?
Chris, as we know, James Franklin takes pride in being even-keeled on the sideline, never getting too high or too low, but he has not stopped wearing the officials out. As soon as the play entered review, Smith-Schuster caught the ball. He felt it was a push-off, he has said repeatedly, game-changing play. How can you not see that that was a clear push-off? Didn't go his way. His team's got to get composed right now.
Tommy, when he looks at the tape, he'll see Gesicki had a similar move himself and didn't get called either, so it's all good.
In any case, you got to let it go. The team has the lead, 8:09 to play. Penn State, remember, has owned the fourth quarter this season. Barkley a short gain, but 166 to 55 is the edge for the Lions in the final quarter. Trojans have the only points so far here in the fourth.
Rely on Barkley and McSorley here in these final 8 minutes. Mix in a little bit of play action off the handoff to Saquon Barkley.
Interesting to see what Joe Moorhead calls as an offense predicated on high-risk plays, deep downfield shots. McSorley under pressure delivers a high throw, far sideline. The catch is made there by Tompkins, but a very short gain, and it'll be 3rd and long.
They brought both their middle linebackers, and again, McSorley's done a really good job all night of feeling that, but SC takes away the deeper throw and allows them to throw it underneath to Tompkins, but still well short of the first down.
One of the keys to success for Penn State, a much better game than is typical on 3rd down. They converted lots of 3rd and longs, an area of weakness all season. They need 8 here to keep the Trojans from getting the football back. Trojan faithful on their feet, making noise behind the Penn State offense.
Here's the best pass rusher. Dropping.
McSorley. Oh, miscommunication. Coverage by Jack Jones, the true freshman on Godwin.
They put Jack Jones out there by himself with Godwin. A night that he has had, they take a risk. Godwin's 9 receptions, 187 yards, and he gets lost. His eyes are in the backfield, playing man, not on his receiver. And I'll tell you, he's very, very fortunate that that ball is essentially thrown away, or he's beaten for a touchdown.
The true freshman pressed into duty tonight. Imam Marshall had to go out of the game. And now Gillikin to punt it away. It's a low boot. He's going to bounce. Burnett has to spin free. Again, filling in for Dory Jackson, who apparently cannot return in that role. And Trojans will take over down 7 at their 21. More of the Rose Bowl game inside the 5-yard line, out there with his arm in a sling, but urging his defensive brothers to make a stand here in a moment.
He pulled aside Cam Brown, a freshman who's played a lot of football. When Bell's been down, he's out there, has been playing since Bell's been out, along with Jason Kabinman and Manny Bowen. The other starting linebacker didn't play, so they're down there. Only starting linebacker is Kabinda.
Darnold on the run, flips it over the middle. And the catch by Burnett, who's been a weapon tonight, a serious problem for the Lions.
Go back to what you had talked about for a guy that's meant so much to this program over these last 4 or 5 years. How fitting for him to have this is his last play, an interception where he turns the tide of the momentum. You can see there where he had the injury to that right arm. Penn State scored in the next play.
I think he had been playing hurt even before that play. Tom reported he had been off the field, came back out. You saw him land on that wrist. Jones hasn't gotten free tonight. Did score the short touchdown, knocked down after a 2-yard gain.
At the 6-minute mark, down 7. Sam Darnold, after that last drive with that great pass to Juju Smith-Schuster down that right sideline, I think is back in rhythm. I think the offense is kind of recalibrated itself, mixing the run with the pass, moving him from left to right, sometimes from the pocket.
Darnold flips it short, and falling down is Jones. He actually did make the catch, but will lose a yard.
Yeah, little thing, but that's why accuracy, which is a strength of Darnold's, that time he threw the ball behind Jones. And because of the footing, it's been questionable all night. He had to kind of sit back on his right leg, which was the opposite shoulder of where he wants the football, and it loses his footing, and as you said, loses a yard. Now it's 3rd and 11.
He made a lot of tough throws tonight. That was a mistake on a relatively easy throw.
They've been having a lot of success in the middle of the Penn State defense behind the linebackers.
Flag down before the snap.
Right tackle. Looks like Zach Banner may have gotten out of there a little bit too quickly on his pass protection.
False start. Offense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Trojans have not given up a sack tonight. That's a huge win against the Penn State pass rush that had produced 39 this season. But that miscue makes it 3rd and 16
now. It's a different deal. Sometimes the quickness of Schwann and Sickles, sometimes they don't get to you. But we saw them do that against Ohio State, those offensive tackles. They get out a little bit quick, trying to help themselves to the edge.
3-man rush look. Darnold still pressured. It's a screen to Jones, who makes one man miss but is knocked down. So that time the Lions were ready for it. Marcus Allen on the tackle and a punt.
Well, that time when you get pressure with 3 on a screen and you've got 8 guys with their eyes on the ball, screen has no chance. Give Kevin Givens, who's been very active in the middle of that defense, credit for getting in there so quickly.
And now the clock running. Penn State's going to get the ball back inside of 4 minutes to play. Garrity at his 20. Tilby gets away a short kick, and Garrity comes up to make the fair catch at the 24. So the amazing Trace, as they call him, McSorley, back on the field, Kirk.
Well, they've been running the ball here late, but early, and the reason they were able to make so many big plays is his ability to extend plays, his creativity, not panicking. How about here? I mean, he doesn't know where he's going to go, keeps the play alive, looks out, finds his check down Barkley, picks up about 15 or 20 yards. So his ability, as much as Sam Darnold's ability to improvise, a big part of what Penn State's been able to take advantage of against the SC defense. Sometimes SC is there, but you can't always account for a quarterback who's extending plays like that.
Kolovatu, the big man in the middle. He handed to Barkley, and Stevie T and crew clog it up. McSorley is a born winner, a high school guy that won state championships as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. They came up just short in his senior season. Reminder that Jan 9, Tigers in the Tide on ESPN. He's a good lacrosse player. Remember he told us yesterday, his lacrosse coach said, you know what, you're not going to really be a big-time football player.
You're never going to get a Division
so maybe
I.
you focus on lacrosse.
You're never going to get a Division I scholarship. So
that stuck with him and motivated him.
Until yesterday. I mean, right now. I mean, that definitely motivated him. They're working his play clock, which is a smart thing to do. SC still has all 3 timeouts left.
Trojans are crowding the line. Barkley gets the edge, bounces it, and barrels for a first down. The middle was clogged. Saquon says, I'm heading out to the right end.
A nice feel here by Barkley. We saw him earlier. You're going to see a block coming out here from the outside from Godwin, the receiver, that kind of seals it. But this play's designed, there's nothing in the middle. There's the instincts to be able to bounce that to the outside and get out away from Powell, the inside linebacker, who again is in for Cameron Smith. But the instincts, the vision, and the patience once again from Saquon Barkley.
It's been a shootout, all the dozen touchdowns we've talked about, but now the 2.5-minute mark, every yard, every first down becomes precious.
And every second.
Yep. There was a sticky exchange between McSorley and Barkley. They do feed it to the tailback. Short gain.
And SC bringing that safety, McQuay, who they have blitzed a lot. SC uses their first timeout.
Trojans lead the football back. Lions nursing a 7-point lead.
Hey, what do you think that sign says?
Eat more. What is ch? Punt, make USC use all 3 of their timeouts, or does James Franklin and Joe Moorhead decide to get aggressive, try a play-action pass, and try to maybe seal the victory with McSorley maybe taking a chance off play-action and throwing? And by the way, if it's not there, tell McSorley to pull it down and run.
3 receivers matched up to the left, Barkley to the right. Saquon's got it, cuts it back, and is brought down at the 42. Good tackle by Nwusu. But now the Trojans spend a timeout. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, so you pick up big yards with your most talented player with Barkley. At least you now are in a position where you want to be at third down and what is it, about 4?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, James Franklin's going to come over there because it comes down to this. If you run the football and you come up short, you make USC use their last timeout, more than likely. And now you're going to punt the ball away and see if Sam Darnold can go 80 or 85 yards with no timeouts and about a little under 2 minutes to go. Or do you tell McSorley, who's made great decisions for the most part, not just tonight, the last 9 games, do you say, hey, look, if it's there, take it. If not, let's pull it down and run. Let's see. Or again, you can give it to Barkley as well, who's your best player, and see if he can pick up the first down on the ground.
Lions fans would say this is poetic justice. If we could convert on a third down and perhaps seal a Rose Bowl victory. After all the struggles they've had on third down this season, overcoming that to be a high-scoring offense.
Man-to-man from USC. Got to expect blitz from the Trojans here.
They bring the heat, and Barkley escapes. But not for long. He slips down behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Hutchings makes a huge tackle for loss, and it is 4th down.
Well, Hutchings does a good job of getting to the outside. As I said, Clancy Pendergast decides to bring the blitz with Harris, 27. From the outside, they came from the field, which is exactly where Penn State is running. You'll see a blitz come here. That initially forces Barkley to the outside, and boy, what a good job by the senior middle linebacker, 19, Hutchings, making sure he gets to the outside and not giving Barkley a chance to turn the corner where he's had a ton of success.
So Blake Gillikin, the true freshman, will be sent on to punt. And for USC, we've got a third different punt returner. It was, of course, Adoree Jackson in that familiar role. He's out injured. Then Burnett took a turn. And now, Kirk, it's Jack Jones, the true freshman corner, who's played pretty well tonight, sent back at his 20-yard line.
Make a good decision, depending on how deep this punt is for the true freshman.
Take it back. It's Darius Rogers, the other number 1, who watches that one sail over his head and into the end zone. So a touchback, a huge boot from Gillikin. And here comes Sam Darnold, the redshirt freshman who took over when the Trojans were 1-2. Had a big ball game tonight. Can he put together one more drive?
This is kind of what you thought might happen. His ability to create has been so big, whether it's scrambling for yards or more. What we've seen is buying time, working through his progression. See pocket presence here, showing just throwing a dart on the line between a linebacker and a safety. The touch where he can't follow through to Juju Smith-Schuster down that right sideline. So the ball is in his hands. He doesn't have any timeouts, and he's got to go 80 yards to tie this football game up in just under 2 minutes.
Traffic in the pocket. Darnold escapes, flips it across the middle, and a fingertip catch made on the sidelines across the 30 by Smith-Schuster.
Magician working in that pocket, getting away from the pressure. And what you really have to appreciate from a freshman is his ability to keep his eyes downfield, stay poised, not panic, and then eventually find an open receiver. And he gets out of bounds.
There's a pass across the middle. Yamato Bebe, the tight end, has a first down. The clock will stop momentarily to move the sticks at the 43.
2 plays, 2 first downs. Obviously not getting out of bounds. A little bit more urgency. This is where you really, if you haven't seen Sam Darnold play, keep in mind he's a freshman and watch him play with the confidence and poise.
There's a looping throw, incomplete, and a flag. Jordan Smith was in coverage against Burnett. Didn't turn his head, though, face guarding.
Yeah, Smith has been in coverage for the most part and has been in phase. This time, he does not get his head turned around.
Number 12, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The combination of contact and not getting his head turned alerts the official to a pass interference call.
So 2 completions and a penalty, and now the Trojans just 42 yards away from the end zone and a tying touchdown.
3 plays and 3 first downs for SC.
Darnold tries far side again. Haley in coverage didn't turn around and again draws a flag.
Yeah, you got to locate the football, and Haley didn't turn his head around until the last possible second. By then, the ball was already past him, and Rodgers was working to get to the ball.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
See Haley at the last second turn, but by then he's already prevented Rodgers from being able to get to the football. Another pass interference, second in a row by Penn State.
Dangers of man coverage, huh?
Yeah, you're living out on an island against some pretty talented receivers and a really accurate and talented quarterback.
Ball at the 27 now.
Remember, Matter Bebe, the tight end, is a big factor over the middle. He's right here.
Darnold has a lot of time. Flies over the middle. Touchdown! Deontay Burnett with the hat trick. Seconds. The Trojans, with some help from 2 penalties on Franklin's typically lightly penalized team, tie it with the PAT. We still got a minute 20 for Penn State's offense now.
Yeah, this Sam Darnold is about as good a quarterback as you're going to see in college football. The kid is a freshman. He just went right down the field and ends up coming up with a big play. Watch this throw, though, Chris. Look at the safety right here. And you're going to tell me that you're going to make a throw over here with confidence? How does he make this throw with that coverage? And throws a dime right over top of the linebacker, Cam Brown, and between the safety, Marcus Allen.
Some people are born to do things, right? Some people
absurd.
Some people are put on this earth to do one thing. He is a born quarterback, huh?
He might be a lot of other things, but on the football field, he's in a different galaxy. 453 yards, 5 touchdowns now. And by the way,
Rose Bowl record.
By the way, you just left McSorley a minute 20.
Yep. And he looks like it's just another day in summer camp out there on the sideline. Look at that facial expression.
He's going to go Joe Montana on the sideline there.
And Saquon, his kick returner. McSorley wouldn't have it any other way, too, Kirk. He says, give me the ball and a chance to go win this game. Lions have 2 timeouts to work with. Barkley has some space. Tries to cut it back. Still alive over there. An excellent return sets up the Lions at the 35 with 1:09 to go.
Again, Sam Darnold does a lot of great things, and he's only going to get better. But the thing that really stands out, like a lot of the great ones, watch the reaction to the game-time touchdown. All right, here we go. You want to go for 2, Coach? Oh, we're going to go for 1. Just like it's an everyday thing for him. What a competitor. But by the way, that 2-point conversion that USC got, that's why they've been able to tie this game.
Barkley. Now what do you do if you're Joe Moorhead? Penn State's offense was flying up and down the field. Stopped the last couple times. No points so far in the 4th quarter. And not a lot of urgency here. Is Franklin content to lull him to sleep, take a downfield shot here,
go for overtime? Just move Godwin all the way down to the bottom.
McSorley rolls, heaves it downfield, has a man wide open. It was late and almost picked off as Leon McQuay came charging across. Wow.
Well, as you said, Chris, he was late. He actually got behind Jones, who's been lost in coverage, a true freshman, number 1. Watch 1 off to the right. He kind of gets lost again, but because of the pass rush, he can't really step into it. floats it up there, and McQuay, the senior, should have stepped in front of that and intercepted it.
Gesicki did not step back to the ball and fight for it either. He kind of waited for it to come to him. So 3rd and 9. Incompletion here. The Lions will have to punt the ball away. Another downfield shot. Godwin. And it is intercepted this time by McQuay. Down the sidelines and knocked out. With 27 seconds to go, the Trojans can win it in regulation. Live with the home run ball all year, perhaps die with it tonight.
You live with the sword, die with the sword. That play has worked for them, not just tonight, but most of the year. He telegraphed it. He told you it was coming. He thinks his guy's better than you. He believes his guy's going to make the catch. Here he is, a safety. He knows it's coming. He's staring him down. It's about who's going to get up to the football. And McQuay, who just dropped the interception, this time times up the leap perfectly, and not only comes up with the interception, but returns it all the way to the 33-yard line and gives Darnold the ball with 27 seconds, no timeouts.
Well, you played the position under pressure. It looked like McSorley squeezed that ball. That did not come out pretty, that pass at all.
No, but I think it goes back to him having so much success with that kind of play, or Godwin or any of these receivers or the tight end Gesicki. How many times have we seen them go up and make those plays? He told the safety, I'm going here. I'm throwing it up. Can you make a play on my receiver or not?
And now, Sam Darnold, redshirt freshman.
The Penn State head coach is challenging that after the pass was intercepted, the ball carrier stepped out earlier than where we declared the ball dead. The previous play is under review.
So Franklin uses a challenge. And let's take a look and see if McQuay did in fact stay in bounds all the way to the,
Chris, it's
the 33.
Right after the interception, right initially, the first 2 or 3 steps, I think is what he's going to challenge. Right there, inbounds, all the way. And then after that, he's, until he goes out of bounds, I think it was just those first few steps.
That would have been a massive difference. Obviously, the ball back in SC territory, but he stays in bounds. And now with the ball at the 33, they don't really have to move it very far to get in field goal range, but they don't have any timeouts, so you don't want to get tackled in the field. Have to rush the field goal team on there.
Okay, it looked like he stepped out maybe at the 35, if anything.
And Sam Darnold in the 4th quarter of this Rose Bowl game has gone 10 for 10 passing. .453 and 5 touchdowns. And he cap off one of the great games we've ever seen in the history of bowl games with a win here.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Penn State will be charged a timeout, and they have no challenges remaining in the game. First down.
Penn State timeout's really irrelevant now, but the fact that SC doesn't have any is highly relevant. So a lot of things in play here with 27 seconds to go.
Obviously, out of bounds and first downs is what Sam Darnold's looking for to be able to stop the clock.
Penn State has owned the final quarter in this win streak. Not tonight. It's belonged to Sam Darnold. Jones, a run. And they got to get the team out there quickly if they're going to kick a field goal or spike it.
Sam Darnold's going to fire it here. You didn't expect him just to kill the clock.
15, 14, 13.
They're just going to set it up here from the left hash.
I'll tell you what. This is a great deal of trust in a field goal kicker.
45-yarder from the left hash.
Matt Bormeister, the junior, been very accurate, 15 of 20 coming into this game, but he has missed a couple of long ones. Didn't make one from 44 along with a 22-yarder. Missed a 51-yarder early and also a 49-yarder. Guy who went to junior college, comes from San Diego. And for a win, a walk-off Rose Bowl winner from 46 yards to cap an incredible comeback. Matt Bormeister, and the snap of Zach Smith, the hold of Wyatt Schmidt, And Penn State will spend that final timeout to give the junior a minute or more to think about this. They did not really aggressively try to get the ball closer for Bormeister at all. These are the two misses. Hooks the first one. Has plenty of distance. Leg will not be an issue on this field goal attempt. It's whether he can place it on those uprights, Kirk, that look very narrow when you stand out there from this distance with this much on the line, don't they?
Absolutely. This is really more about showing some of the poise that Sam Darnold's played with tonight. Being able to just lock in and not get caught up in what's at stake. That's why you rep and rep and rep and rep, whether it's the snap, the hold, the kick.
Is it overtime? Or does Matt Bormeister win it for the Trojans in a Rose Bowl classic right here? It's good. USC wins it. The left foot of Matt Bormeister is the final word of a Rose Bowl game that we'll never forget. But the right arm of Sam Darnold was the most important component to this comeback victory. SC outscores Penn State 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Samantha Ponder with Clay Helton.
Well, Coach, you said it was a dream to be in this game. What's it like to win it?
Glory to God. He's watched after this team all year and watched after us one more time. What a valiant effort by a group of young men and a staff. I can't tell you how proud I am of them in this atmosphere.
Coach, the last time I saw you was at that Alabama game in Dallas. What would you have said if I told you you'd be here tonight?
Believe in the men that surround you. They did the job tonight, and we're Rose Bowl champions, the granddaddy of them all.
Coach, can I ask you about your quarterback real quick? Because I had to remind myself that he's a freshman. I don't think he smiled or showed any emotion the entire game, despite what he was doing out there. How do you describe what you saw from him?
Just truly special and poised. Played way beyond his years. Thank goodness he's a Trojan.
An incredible year for you and your team. Congratulations,
Thank you. Thank you.
Chris?
And Tom Rinaldi is standing by with Darnold. 453 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Still in awe right now.
Sam, got you, Sam. We talked over and over about the fact that it's almost hard to believe you're a freshman. How would you describe what this game was like for you?
It was amazing. The whole Trojan family came out here, supported like we knew they would. Penn State, great team, great fans. They traveled really well. But we were just really excited to get this win for the whole Trojan family. It's been a long time coming, and you know, I'm just really happy for everyone involved with this program, and you know, it's been awesome. The ride's been crazy, but I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
What gave this team, Sam, the sense of belief at the end of September that it could win the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just trust. That's the key word there, is trust within the players, whether it was trust in the coaching staff, our strength staff, everyone. We just trusted each other, and I think that was the key throughout, you know, our struggles in the beginning, and then, you know, the way we rattled off all those wins at the end.
So many of the players around you say you give them a sense of belief. How do you do it?
I think just staying poised. You know, I'm never going to change for anyone, and, you know, that's just who I am. And, you know, I'm just so happy for the guys, happy for the seniors, what they've been through. They're 4 or 5 years here, man. It's been one heck of a journey. I'm just proud to call our team Rose Bowl champions.
Congratulations. Great performance.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Chris?
Well, Tom, the physical gifts, the poise, the maturity, Kirk, that is startling. As Clay Helton said, thank goodness he's a Trojan.
My God,
what a privilege to watch this game.
Just an amazing performance, a great game. And the way they ended the season, both these teams, fitting that it ended up 52-49.
Brett Musburger, Jesse Palmer, Haley Hartung, the All-State Sugar Bowl coming up now from the Superdome.